We're talking toilet bowl.
Toilet bowl.
That's right.
Fuck that shit. What's up, guys? We got fucking Chad 90s in the house. What's going on,
What's
bro?
up?
What up, fellas? What up?
We got the bum. It's been a minute, bro. We haven't had you here for a while, dude. It's
Bro.
been a minute.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was probably the end of last season.
Yeah, I don't think we've had you here this year. We
Yeah.
haven't done a ton of shows, but all right. The main subject today, we're gonna dissect. I don't know how much of that game we want to get into. I guess we'll hit the game a little bit and the season. And I'm really want to get more focused on what can happen next year. What can we do? But we just finished the whole. I asked you guys this question before, and maybe we could go around and do it. We're all sort of licking our wounds and stuff, but to not be negative, which I've been accused of in the past, it can't be all negative. Let's say 5 good things that we did this year, and 5. Let's not even say bad things. That would be too negative. 5 things we can improve on next year.
5 opportunities.
So, 5 opportunities. So
yeah.
we'll just go around. I'll start with one. Next, you'll probably hit some of these that I have. I'll give you one good thing, and then Bum, you can go next. We'll go clockwise. I think one good thing about this season, probably not talked about enough, I don't think, but Tua didn't get hurt.
I think that's talked about a lot.
I don't know if it's enough. I want to give him that credit. He did do that, so I will give him that.
Everyone laughed, but the jiu-jitsu or whatever, it worked. You know what I'm saying? Like if you see the way he fell this year, it was definitely more graceful compared to the years past. You know what I mean? Like he didn't seem like he was taking those hits and then slamming his head. He seemed to be more graceful, and like I guess the judo, that's what it was that he did, right? That allowed him to be able to take more hits, I guess.
I was fucking dead wrong on that one. I thought there's no way this guy's playing all the games. So I'll give him that. Bum, you got something good that we did this year?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think for most of the year, it didn't happen so much in the critical times, but it seems like the play calling was a little better than last year, at least a little bit more varied, right?
We just threw another screen pass.
I disagree with that one, Bum. I think the play calling was pretty elementary.
And that's why I said it seemed like in the critical games, the play calling was the absolute worst. But I think they tried to run the ball a little bit more. I think they tried to go varied.
But then still went away from it.
I will. Yes. Yeah, it's a slippery
by the same token, some of my complaints are they didn't run the ball enough. Did they do it more than last year? Probably so,
but not enough.
To the point where Mozart led what? Definitely broke Dolphin records in touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Got up there close to NFL touchdown records for a running back.
Bum, can I back you up on that a second? 2022, we were not even a top 10 rushing team as far as yardage is concerned. We were, I think, somewhere like past 10. We were not top 10, 1,600 yards. This year, we got to 2,100 yards. We were 6th in the league, and we did lead the league in rushing, average 5.1. But we didn't have the attempts that other teams had. We could have had
right. Mm-hmm. And I think it goes back to what 90 said about when you run it, right? Also, that's a big factor, and that's one of my complaints, right? To me, like the Kansas City game, they should have ran a lot more than they did. But
that's running weather right there.
Yeah, bro.
Exactly. It equates to running weather.
And then also, too, one of the worst run defenses to the outside, where that's where all of our running this year was the best, was hitting the outside.
Yeah, that's our strength.
I could not understand that for the life of me. That's why I kind of disagree with the play calling. I felt like at times against the bad teams, okay, great, you called a great game, but then when we need you to show up and call a good game, McDaniel, I feel like the play calling was elementary. It was
Yeah.
very predictable.
Overall, it was pretty good. In spurts, it didn't make sense why they
At
got away
critical
from it.
moments.
No,
Yeah.
and
Critical
that's a fair
moments.
point. That's a fair point.
I
I
think
guess
at critical moments it was really bad, and then that's kind of what everybody remembers. But if you go to the stats, right? If you go to the stats, there was improvement there, right?
Mm.
But I get it. The critical moments, they certainly didn't bring it home, right?
That Chiefs game's really sticking out to us because it's the last thing we saw, and it's probably the worst examples, probably.
Yes,
yeah.
of everything,
That.
really,
Yeah.
Of everything, really.
Well, actually, I think all 5 of my good things that we did this year, I guess one you hit with Tua not getting hurt. So the other 4 probably are going to be on the defensive side. I would say our run stop this year 10 times better. Teams weren't
Yes.
running all over us. And the other thing I would say is pressure to the quarterback. We were getting pressure to the quarterback. Now, did it always wind up in sacks or a turnover? Not always, but we had more and better pressure. And I think the run stop was, to me, one of the things that stood out the most in regards of like some of the best things we did this year. So I would say Fangio, even with all the injuries, and I was the first one to kind of get on in those first 4 games because I felt like that defense was lacking. But once Ramsey came back, it was a whole different defense. Even with guys off the street, they still managed to keep us in the game. And sadly, just like last year, the defense wasn't the reason why we lost games.
Yeah, I agree, man. You didn't see those teams running all over us like we've seen other
In the
times.
past, yeah. And that was
what I thought would be a better part of this defense was the corner play. And dude, it was just besides Ramsey, it was really bad, dude. I think overall, just bad corner play.
I think it's a scheme, but we can get there when we get to the bad parts, I guess.
Yeah,
I think
I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah.
All right, the run stop. Yeah, good. Yeah, you hit already. Like I got, it kind of ties into that. I'll get a little more specific. Chubb and Phillips, even though they ended up injured at the end, but the way that they stepped up and started really kind of being kind of what we thought they could be, I thought that was good. That could end up being a bad thing. How are they going to bounce back? I don't know. Those are pretty big.
Andrew Van Sackle, as I like to call him, because when Phillips went out the first time and was hurt, that kid stepped up, was playing that role, and I also thought he was more productive at times than Phillips. Because when Phillips was out there, he was definitely going to get that double team or depending. But I think, to your point, Andrew Van Ginkel. He needs to get paid. If it's not with us, he deserves a bag. That kid.
We got to find a way to sign that guy.
Yeah, bro. Kid is. And I'll say this: even last year and the year before, whenever he was in the game, he just always seems to be around the ball. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't give him enough credit for. He is always around the ball or the play. And I think he had a lot to do with that run stop or the pressure, as I was mentioning earlier as well, too.
100. Bum, you got another good thing, or was that it?
I guess another good thing, and I know that people that don't like Tua probably won't like it, but I mean, what other team had a guy that was chasing 2,000 yards at receiving, a top 5 quarterback, and the running back with leading amount of touchdowns, right? We could say it's against bad teams and all that, but that's a fact. Right? Yeah. I mean, those numbers are true. And how many teams that have those 3 components chasing those numbers actually, don't get a home playoff game or don't advance in the playoffs? That's even more shocking. But
so your positive is we had a lot of good statistical categories individually as for players?
Yeah, I mean, those are things you could build on, right?
Okay. Yeah, they definitely had. I mean, dude,
you could question you could question the competition and all that, but
dude, look at Chad's fucking LinkedIn profile picture on his fucking thing, dude.
Cool.
Doesn't that look like a LinkedIn? I have a little segment I'm gonna do about Tyreek later on that kind of ties into that a little bit. But yeah, for sure they had some good individual statistical performances, the Tua yards, the Tyreek yards, the Mostert touchdowns, A-Chain rushing yards. guy had like average like 7 or 8 yards a carry. Waddle put up some good numbers.
But I feel like
he disappeared like at the end, didn't he?
I honestly, what ridiculed this team is the injuries. I think Waddle, even bro, how many times did we see Tyreek go off limping in games this year?
Yes,
almost every game.
Bro, I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only one who's like, well, that's it. We don't have Tyreek. That's it. I'm
gonna save that because I have a little Tyreek thing that I want to talk about.
Yeah, no, and the part that I want to say is going to go to the bad part. So what I have to say
Let's
on
stay
that,
off that for him. We're doing the good. We're gonna get to the bad, and that's probably gonna be.
But by the way, I was kind of shocked when they showed that picture or the video of Tyreek's house fire, and he was walking around with a boot. Like I was surprised about that. Like I knew he was gimpy and all that, but I guess they thought it was serious enough that hey, like when you're not playing football, we're gonna slap a boot on you and make sure you keep that thing immobile. I mean, that was kind of shocking. I didn't know it was that bad.
Yeah. He's able to fucking bounce back though fast, that guy. I don't know.
Because he's a stud in that way,
Come on,
not
man.
a lot of guys do that.
We all know he was shooting that thing up when he was getting to that tent. Come on, man.
Probably.
Let's just
dude, I gotta hand it to him. Maybe not everybody's willing to do that. That guy's a fucking gamer, dude.
Oh, bro, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, one of those things as a Dolphin fan, making the trade for him, paying him the most money. I mean,
no problem with me.
He has earned every single dollar
Yep.
since coming here. Despite of what you want to think about the team, but since he's come here, I mean, of course, maybe McDaniel as well, but it feels like Tyreek has changed the culture in that locker room, and I think that's why he.
How many wins do you think that guy's worth on this team?
I would say probably at least 8 or 9.
No, I mean just on his own. If we don't have that guy, how many games less are we winning?
Probably like 4 or 5 games.
At least 2.
Sure.
Well, I would put it at like 4, maybe 5 if we don't.
Yeah, I would probably say something like that.
But the only reason why I'm saying that is because, and man, you know what? Let's wait till we get to the bad, because I think that's kind of what I want to. That's part of my bad.
To me, there's good and bad with Tyreek, and I'll tell you, it's not
100%,
not because of him necessarily, but all right, we'll get to that. Yeah. So give me another pot. You got any more positives?
I'm gonna say the other positive that I have from this year. I mean, I know he got hurt and it was small dosage, and you guys brought him up, but Achon, bro, every time he touched the ball, that kid, he reminds me of Chris Johnson. He just finds a hole and hits it, bro. I mean, granted, it was a small sample size, but to me, very positive, especially with, a position that we all know that it's kind of on the downside in regards of, production and guys getting paid, because you always want the young guy. So it seems we have that next young guy locked in on that rookie contract that's going to be helpful for us. So you expect the next 2 to 3 years for that guy to be productive for us. So he would be like my second part of, the what went good this year.
Dude, 103 carries, 800 yards, 8 touchdowns. That was in 11 games. Some of those games he did not have a big role in. It's almost equates to like half a season, not even,
And to put up those numbers, you know what I mean? Like, just to your point, not being involved the entire time, also having to dealing with injuries, but still put up the numbers that he had. Like, I know he's not going to be rookie of the year, but he absolutely deserves all the, the shine that he's getting and being put there with all those other guys.
I'll do my next positive one. I'll piggyback on that. Mostert. It was a really good 1-2 punch with those guys. He
that was one of mine. Yeah, Mostert.
I mean, the touchdowns, but the yards and the guy.
We haven't had a 1-2 punch since Ricky and Ronnie like that.
Yeah.
Because Ricky and Ronnie would give you stuff like that, I felt like.
We'll talk about some opportunities later. There's an opportunity in the run game too that, even with as much as we're praising these guys, they probably could use that guy down at the goal line, that guy on 3rd and short, to pound it in. That
I disagree. I think that's McDaniel play calling, because we would get down there And that's Mostert time all year. We're within 10 yards. Feed him the rock. He's getting in. But we got to get Tyreek his touches. We got to get Tua his touchdown pass.
We got to throw a fade in the corner of the end zone.
Yeah.
Tyreek.
Bro, we're within 10 yards and we're throwing 3 straight passes. Now, to your point, I understand what you're saying. It felt like we needed that. But did we really need that? I don't think so. I just think we went away from that when we got down there.
All right, fuck it. I'm going to get ahead of myself. Would you entertain the thought if we could get him on a friendly deal? I know we're
absolutely low hanging fruit.
We're way ahead on we're way behind on the cap thing. But we could get Derrick Henry on a friendly deal. Don't you think that could bring like just a whole nother fucking
absolutely? But knowing Greer and how he's operating with this team, it has to be low hanging fruit and it has to be cheap. Because think about it, Dalvin didn't want to come. Dalvin didn't want to come because he didn't get the money he wanted, right? So
we could get him now, right?
He's still on the Ravens, bro.
Is he still?
Yeah,
I think so. He's still on the Ravens, bro.
Okay, I thought they cut him for some reason.
Bro.
By the way, you got to be careful because if you read a lot of the articles of the people who are criticizing the Dolphins and what excuses they're going to come up with, especially more on the Greer level. A lot of them say that what this team is missing is a power back and a pass-catching tight end that scores touchdowns, right?
Well, tight end is the biggest thing we're missing in a Shanahan offense. Let's just be real.
I think we were the only team that didn't have a touchdown at the tight end position in the league, okay? Yeah. And a lot of people say, well, that's the missing piece. I think if you certainly think that the Dolphins' issues are around Tua and the play calling, I don't know how much, to your point, Chad, that another back's going to do if they don't give him the ball because of the play calling, right? So,
I mean, we had Gesicki here and we didn't give him the ball.
No, but Gesicki did score and he did get the ball sometimes. He made the big play in the end zone for the Ravens game, went up and got the ball. I think the thing that's missing with this offense, with any Shanahan offense, is that tight end because it doesn't go all the time if you go look. Because even look at Kittle. He doesn't get hit up all the time. But when he does get hit up, it's those chunk plays. It's that play that you don't realize the tight end is going up the seam or goes to block, pretends to block, and then starts running out. And that could be that safety blanket that Tua could need. Like, for instance, no one's open. I could dump it right there to the tight end. That's going to be right there.
It's amazing to me, bro, because that seems like something that a guy like him could benefit so much from, especially get the ball out quick. Oh, there's not open. Boom, there's my guy. Boom, there's my safety outlet. There's my safety valve. But it's like not there. They don't even like. It seems dumb that I would know that, and I don't know. There must be a reason why it's not there.
Honestly, I think what happened was their guy was taken before they can. I think what I was reading, they wanted Laporta, the tight end from the Lions, but when that second round came in, and it was like 3 picks before him, they took him, and then we wind up getting Achon. I think that's Then, great. We have this, young running back, but man, maybe that tight end could have been the difference between winning the division and not, in a sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And then if you consider that, we were a little bit better off at running back, comparatively speaking to tight end, you would have thought that getting the tight end was, the thing that you wanted to focus on.
But you know what, though, Bum? If the guy they wanted was not there at that pick, and at that time they felt like Achane was the best player at that position, I'm fine with that pick.
I'm good with that. That's things that they didn't do in the past. They used to not do that so much.
Correct. Yeah. You wouldn't pick you can even make the argument for the Cam Smith pick in the first round. Everyone's like, why do we get that? We have cornerbacks. But if you looked at it, he seemed to be the best player at the time to pick him up. I don't know why he hasn't found the field with Fangio's defense. There must be a curve that he's missing. And I know a lot of people are, and that could be part of the opportunities or negatives. Everyone's like, what happened with Cam Smith? Why is he not getting out there? But I think that has to do with rookie into the league. Fangio, experienced defensive coordinator, probably wants experienced guys out there. And then another thing is Dolphin fans need to remember. I can't recall it exactly, but if I can remember correctly, I don't think Patrick Surtain saw the field much his first year. You know, I think it took him time to kind of get out there and develop. So it could be one of those things with Cam Smith, and with X pretty much on his way out, as we all know, he could have that bigger role next year.
Well,
I just am getting Noah Igamba, whatever. Vibes,
yo, but I'll take
dude.
that guy over freaking Eli Apple, bro. Get out of here. Eli Apple couldn't cover shit this year.
Well, I'll tell you.
I don't want to see that guy anymore.
Bro, who would you rather have? Igbinogany or Eli Apple?
Are we going to the negative items yet?
Yeah, I think we just inadvertently went negative here. I don't know. I think is it you, Bum, or
it doesn't even matter. Just go.
All right. I only got a couple more. Mine was like a potent at times offense, which you kind of touched on there, Bum, a little bit. And I thought Ramsey was a fucking amazing boost, you know. So I thought that gave us something. That was pretty much all I had on the positive side. I mean,
yeah,
other than what you guys already said.
Yeah, you touched on a couple of mine, which was Mozart, Ramsey. Those are two things that I thought were positive. 90 touched on Van Ginkel. That was very positive.
I'm sorry, the O-line. I thought the O-line, was better.
And that was my last one.
The O-line. Yep, no. With 14 different combinations, absolutely.
Yeah, and if you start off, remember your first one, Tua wasn't hurt. I think part of that is the O-line, right? And the fact that they had so many combinations.
And the scheme, right? The scheme helped them. That getting the ball out in 2.1 seconds,
But also, too, what I think helped that O-line, which a lot of people aren't seeing, was the fact that they were running to the outside. Because think about this. As an O-lineman, if I know where I'm going and that defensive lineman or that linebacker doesn't know where I'm going, that helps those guys create the gaps because they're moving the line to where they know that running back needs to go and hit the gap. So I think that was another big thing with especially with 14 different combinations. The fact they played that well, and as Dolphin fans, we know that's usually the worst part of our football game team.
Did that lead the league in combinations? I don't know.
Oh yeah, it did. And then I knew going against the Bills where their whole O-line played the entire season. I'm like, oh, we're fucked. Because that's just chemistry that you can't really build without playing so much. But no, the O-line was a definite positive thing. I'm with you there, Bum. And I think they did a great job, creating gaps and holes for Mostert and HN when they were calling run plays to open it up to the outside. Now, we do need to get better vertical, and someone like Derrick Henry can, help with that. It's, kind of what you were saying, Bum, kind of have that rough and tough, just down your nose type of back.
Physical game.
Yeah. But no, I you got to give the O-line their flowers. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Props there. You guys, I already ran through my 5. I don't know if you guys got any other ones to add on the positive side.
Because you brought up the O-line. I guess the only other positive is, and you brought up Tua not getting hurt. I mean, you can look at it as a positive for some Dolphin fans. He led the league in passing yards. Does it mean anything?
Sanders didn't miss any critical kicks.
I was going to say him. Yeah, I was going to mention his name. He won a game for us.
Bro, and came back. We all wanted him gone.
Usually the way it goes. Usually he's losing games. He won one for us, at least one for sure. Not just with one kick. That game, can you imagine if he doesn't have that game, the collapse is even
worse?
Bigger, dude. That game to me was like a prime Dolphin sort of collapse game, and he fucking pulled that game out for us, man. Really, I know Tua had the drive to put us in position, but if he doesn't hit those 50-yarders earlier in the game, and the other, he had 5 kicks that game, maybe we're not even in a spot to even try to do that. So maybe it changes to where we need a touchdown that last drive, and then So, all right, so we ready to shift to the opportunities where we can improve?
Sure.
All right. This is just obvious. Everybody says it's the narrative. They just have to find a way to beat the better teams. To maybe you go 50-50 in those games, or close to that. That's probably the biggest thing for me. If you want to be one of the best teams, you can't go. What do we do? 1-5 against playoff teams or something like that this year?
Yeah, hold on. And the playoff team that we quote unquote beat got blown out in the
Yeah.
divisional round or in the wild card round. They got
You mean
blown like
the NFC version of us?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course they are. Yeah, I tell everyone that too. That
Yeah.
I can relate to Cowboys fans because we're the same thing. The
So
only
that's
difference is
my-
they're winning the Super Bowl every year. We're just,
They're almost as delirious as we are. Bum, you got one?
Yeah, one of the things that I've read a lot, and I did see it, is player usage, right? Like we talked about some of it with Cam Smith, and maybe it was because he's a rookie and all that, but there are other scenarios that were broken down, like why Nick Needham didn't play over Kazoo. I call him Kazoo, but when Kazoo was getting burned badly, why not Nick Needham, who has like a better passer rating against him, like
see,
quarterbacks.
I'll say this: Kader Kohu in his second year, unfortunately, got put into a tough situation. I think the biggest difference between what he did his rookie year and his sophomore year was the scheme. He is a guy that can play man coverage. The moment he
Yes.
got put into that zone defense, he looked like he was lost. He looked like he didn't know what to do. And I know a lot of people are killing him and they're saying the regression of him. And I'm not trying to defend him, but you know what? I am going to defend him. I think him
But
being in
that's
this
yeah.
team was what hurt him. And he needs to go this offseason and really figure out how he can thrive in this system.
But I think that ties in directly to what the bum is saying.
Exactly.
Why don't they notice that that's the case, and why don't they put him in the position? Shula was always saying you got to put players in the best position to succeed, and if that's the case, if what you're saying is true, and I don't disagree, they got to figure out a way to not put him in that position and maybe scheme up some coverages that'll use his best abilities.
But what didn't help him was the injuries. Think about this. Ramsey goes out in the beginning of the year.
But let's play some man if that's what he can play well.
I hear you.
Ramsey can play man.
That's not Fangio's thing, though. That's not Fangio's thing.
You got to conform to your players sometimes.
Correct. Right? I get that. But what happened was, it seems to me, when Ramsey got hurt, with him and X were the best two options. So that's what Fangio went with. Then when X wasn't showing up, and then it seems like they put Kader on the other side. When X was getting hurt and going out, I felt like, to me, what we saw Kader thrive in last year was the man coverage against the slot, not against the best guy on the team. You can go back to that first Bills game.
He started a little bit, though, right? He started some games last year, right?
Yes, but he played the slot and man. If you look at that first Bills game, let me ask you this, and this is going to your point too, Bum, and I put that on Fangio. Why are you leaving him on an island by himself with probably the best route runner in the entire league? Give the kid some help. Have Javon Holland come over and help him.
Or let Ramsey cover that guy.
And that's what it should have been, but that's not how Fangio's defense works. They play zone, they play on their side, and they only stay there. That's how he runs his scheme. So, and then the other thing with Fangio's scheme, looks great against the good team or the bad teams, struggled at times against the better teams. They still managed to keep us in games, but they would struggle against the better offenses.
Yeah. All right. Maybe he can work on that himself. I don't know.
But no, I hear
or he may not even be here. Who knows? I've heard some of that too. Right?
I don't understand that. We can get into that later, but we
can get into that when we talk about the future.
Yeah.
All right. What's another
opportunity? Huge opportunity. And this one's on McDaniel. Throughout the entire year, no in-game adjustments.
Yes.
None at all.
One of mine.
It was terrible.
Yeah, that was one of mine too.
We're just insane, right? We're just gonna do the same thing over and over and over again for it not to work. To me, that was the biggest thing that stood out this year. Just
bubble screen.
Oh, I think he just threw another one. He must have been watching the Canes game, because I was at that Clemson Canes game. I swear to God, if I saw another bubble screen, even from that freaking freshman quarterback, I was going to lose my shit. I was like, yo, let him throw down the field. Let's see if he can throw the ball, Mario. Let's go.
Some teams do that well. This franchise I don't think we've ever. Maybe OJ McDuffie did that okay at one time, but like
but
it's
let me
never
ask
been
you
a
this.
staple of this team ever.
I think it's an
No.
elementary play call, and especially in that Kansas City game. Are we playing in the NFL or are we playing in college? Now, can you run a bubble screen in the NFL? Absolutely. I think it's when you place it and where you put it, and it's used,
It
sparingly.
also didn't seem like Tua was comfortable with that play or executed that play. Even though the play call was not great, it seemed like the ball wasn't in the right spot a lot. Like it didn't seem like that was his like best skill play there. The Tua bubble screen. I don't know, but yeah, I agree. In game
Game
adjustments,
adjustments, man. And
and,
that's on
and,
McDaniel.
and will some of that be better if he has less stuff on his plate, like give up the play calling potentially, which he said today he'd be, or I don't know, recently he'd be open to. Maybe he can improve in getting the plays in on time, the challenges,
Oh,
adjustments. If he doesn't have all that other shit to worry about, he seems like he's putting on too much on his plate.
bro, and you know what? Something that people don't bring up. As the OC in San Francisco, he didn't call the plays. That was Kyle Shanahan. So maybe he shouldn't be calling the plays. And to your point as well, with the plays coming in late, whatever you think of Tua, if he can't get the play in early to even try to make, an audible or make adjustments, that's not on Tua. And he said it a couple times in post-game interviews this week.
But
He's
dude,
like, yeah, I would love to make an audible, but I'm getting the play in late. And
we saw that in Buffalo last year in the playoff game with Skyler, man. It was just so. I understand that was a rookie too, and you could probably put some of it on him, but it just looked like in that game they were not getting the plays in on time. It was like delay of game and then a delay of game and then burn a timeout, and we could not get the fucking play in on time. It was just terrible, dude. We would have won that fucking game, I think, if not for that.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys remember that shit.
Yeah, no, I know. I remember. Trust me. I mean, the game plan for last year with Skylar Thompson was better than the game plan they had for this year with Tua in Kansas City. Like, the game plan was so much better against the Bills, which blew my mind because everyone's like, oh, but if Tua was in, we would have won that game. Well, the game plan for Tua was just terrible. And was Tua great? No. He missed some throws and wasn't himself, but I don't think the game plan and the play calling was helping him in any way as well.
Yeah.
Well, the bum said it while we were watching it. Like, instead of these 12 bubble screens, let this guy fucking throw the ball as far as he can 12 times, and let's see if Tyreek comes down with a couple more of these.
The perfect example.
Or a few pass interference calls that maybe go our way.
The first drive with Kansas City, that 3rd and 8, they took a shot downfield. Like, okay, and I thought on our first drive, we were like 3rd and 8. I'm like, you know what? I don't even care if we get a first down. Take a shot. It's early enough in the game to take a shot. Do it. They didn't do it.
One of my other things is related to that topic, but I'll let you guys go next.
I guess I'm up next. We're kind of talking about most of these. You know what? This may not seem as important as some of the other ones we're talking about, but I do think that I've never, we don't follow every team as closely, but it just seems like some of those distractions that they had going on, whether it be the Hard Knocks, the Chase for 2000, all these other like side unimportant things in the grand scheme of, making a deep playoff run, which is really what we want to do. It didn't help, I just thought some of that was kind of, this is not fucking football. If you get the stats, you get the stats. The fucking show, I don't know, if they could have opted out of that shit or not. I didn't think the show was good for the team. I thought it was just kind of like a distraction. I don't know if you guys agree or disagree with that, but I could have done without, a lot of those kind of side bullshits and maybe a little too much planned celebrations and shit like that. Like, yeah, let's make it fun, but fucking, we got to win this game, dude. That's really what we want to do.
I don't think the show had an impact on any of that because, to be honest, show or not, it was still the Dolphins' ass way to go out in the season. Like, that's what, I mean, come on, let's just be real. It was as Dolphins as it gets. Have a freaking 3-game lead in the division with 5 games left, and you just let the Bills come and just take everything. Like, show or not, I felt like that was what was going to happen. I don't want to say that Hard Knocks was a distraction. I would agree the 2,000 yards, I feel like that was detrimental to McDaniel and trying to, I got to get Tyreek in.
Yeah.
To the offense in general.
Absolutely. And one of those things that if I remember correctly, in Tua's rookie year coming in one time, he spread the ball out to like he had 7 different targets in one game. And that was like something that people were like, damn, look at that. He's spreading it out. But when you have this guy like, oh, we got to get this guy his touches. And I felt like they didn't use Tyreek as a decoy as much as they should have. As much as they want to get him the ball, use him as a decoy and open it up for somebody else and just win the game. The only stat that
you want to
matters
hear
is
something crazy? He threw the ball to 8 receivers against Kansas City.
Well, yeah, I believe that though. I believe that.
It was like one catch each, but he did throw the ball around. But yeah, generally he didn't do that all year.
No, and usually, like even in Alabama, I felt like he would spread the ball more. You know what I mean? And that rookie year, he kind of did more of that. But I guess at the same time, when you have a weapon like Tyreek, you know, we're not in that position. Maybe it's like, you know, we know if Tyreek gets the ball, it can literally change the game in 1 second, right? So that could be, you know, part of why they were trying to scheme so much for Tyreek. But I think McDaniel hurt himself because he should have used him more as a decoy. That's what he should have been.
I don't want to blow my Tyreek load right now because I have a little segment on that, but I agree with you. Bum, you gotta.
Yeah, and it's kind of long-winded, but it touches on some of the things that 90 mentioned about not making adjustments. So you guys remember last year when we went into our 5-game losing streak against quality teams, they kept saying that they figured out what disturbed or disrupted Tua, which was throwing in the middle areas of the field. They started to crowd that area, right? And that they could not figure out, like once they started to do that, it's like they unlocked the key to defending this offense, right? Well, if you listen this year to what Tyreek said, the cover 2 was the big detriment this year of how they shut down this offense. We could not figure out cover 2, and that's basically the safeties playing deep,
sitting,
and taking away, actually giving up the middle of the ground
where your tight end should be feasting.
Exactly. Or your short passes or your back coming out.
Or your slant. And how many times we didn't throw a slant and we should have thrown a slant?
And we never hit the running back like in the middle.
Yeah.
No.
Like you never saw like that little in and out and in.
That
like
little sit to pretend to protect the quarterback and then just sneaks on out right above the line so you can just dump it to him.
You saw like some shovel plays here and there, you know, they did a couple, but like not enough where they could have really taken advantage and said to those people, wait a second, we can't just fucking sit back here all day because they're going to fucking, you know, they're going to dink and dunk us. And they didn't do a lot of, it was a lot of boom or bust with the offense.
And yes. And a lot of the writers picked up on that, you know, for Tyreek to say in his press conference after the game that they have to do better against cover 2 defenses, I think is quite telling, because that's basically taking him away from the game when they can't break that code, right? So
but that all goes back to the in-game
adjustments.
Yeah, it kind of is all tying back into that same thing. What you got, Chad?
Another opportunity for me this year. Okay, so I had I feel like this is another McDaniel thing. I guess you could say it kind of ties back into the in-game adjustments and all that, but just game management. He can't win a challenge. You know, it just seems like when things are rolling his way and things are great, no issues, just like with Tua and Tyreek, right? But then when he starts to feel some adversity, just nothing, like, I don't know. I just feel like his game-to-game management needs to be better. And I think it just has to do with him being I guess you could say it's just overall him as a head coach. That would be my opportunity, because he didn't progress as a head coach, I feel like, from last year to this year. Granted, we were 2 wins better. I get that. But we saw the same things. No in-game adjustments. Did we run the ball more this year? Yes, but we still ran away from it. He can't win a challenge. And I also think at the same time, you know, it has to do with what you guys said earlier. You got to put your players in the right position to succeed, right? he didn't do that all year. You know, he only did it against the teams where he could actually scheme whatever up. You know, so I guess you could say it's. I would just say McDaniel's coaching development. I guess that would probably be the best way to say it. I felt like that's still a big opportunity, and for me, next year is a big year for him. If he does not win a playoff game, sorry, buddy, you got to go. Like the expectation is, you came in here, got us to the playoffs, great. We went to the playoffs again, still lost in the first round. Well, if you ain't gonna win us a playoff game, I don't want to be sitting here waiting for one. You know?
And dude, that would be a different narrative if we wouldn't be all in like we've been all in, like we're, looking to be so over the cap, like we've given up draft capital. So we put all our chips on the table and we're still getting out in the first round. If we were like a young team, if we were the Texans, hey, all right, well, they fucking won. But let's say they would have lost. Hey, rookie quarterback, first year, but it's not. This is not a rookie quarterback. This is not a young team. This is a fucking heavy contract in some case, laden team, and we're still getting ousted. Dude, if McDaniel were a musical artist, you guys could probably relate to this. He would be a guy that could go in the fucking studio and record you a fucking flawless fucking track with everything perfect, but then he goes to do a live concert and the fucking settings are not right, or it's fucking something's wrong with the fucking speakers over here, and it sounds
there's
like
nothing
shit.
wrong with the speaker. He just sucks. That's what that means. Bud knows. Bro, when you're good at music, you're good at music.
You're good, yeah.
It doesn't matter. I've played on shitty speakers before, and that doesn't mean, to your point, Randy, I totally get it.
I'm just saying, like when at the start of games, his first drive, I don't have the numbers, but it seems like his first drive or two are pretty fucking well scripted usually, and a lot of times they're successful. But as the game goes on, it seems to start falling apart, and that's, again, we're back to the adjustments. So it just seems like when he's in control of it, it's pretty good. Once it gets like out of like what he had drawn up and he's got to go somewhere else, he just can't seem to do it for some reason.
You know what's amazing, and 90 mentioned it, right? Adversity, right? Isn't it? I can't even explain it. With all the different teams that we've had, all the different coaches, all these different configurations of players and coaches, and there's one common thread. When this team has adversity, man, it doesn't do well. It falls apart. It doesn't. There's other teams that when the heat turns up, they rise, right? We're the opposite. And it's through so many different coaches and so many different schemes, so many different regimes. That's like the common thing, collapsing, not handling adversity very well. That really stinks.
And you know what sucks about that, Bum? If you've watched Hard Knocks this year, all Mike McDaniel brings up is adversity. We're staring down at the face of adversity. This is how we got it. Like, that's, to me, that's the part that I don't understand about this. But all he brings up is adversity. You're here because of you challenging adversity and being here.
They always say that teams are reflections of the coach. A lot of times he's got to show that too. Has he shown that he can do that? I don't think he's really shown that he can do that. So I could talk about it till I'm blue in the face, but I could tell my son, don't do this, don't do that. But if he sees me doing it every day, he's gonna be like, "You ain't fucking do it." It just.
No, that's a fair point.
I could tell you, but like we gotta do it, and until he does it, they're probably not gonna fucking do it. A lot of these things we're saying, I don't want to. I've been pretty good about Tua bashing so far today, but a lot of those things reflect on Tua too. The big game situation, the big moment, the adversity. He also is not, doing that. And the team is the quarterback and the coach, dude. To me, that's like there's such a big percentage of the team,
Yes and no. I agree. Yes and no. I mean, and I know what you're saying, Randy.
Look at the teams in the playoffs right now.
Look at the quarterbacks. Okay, but at the same time, and this is the point that I've made in the past, your quarterback, only having a quarterback is going to take you so far. Like, don't get me wrong. I love Josh Allen. Everyone loves Josh Allen's play, but when the time comes and he's all they got, and that's not going to be enough for them to get over the hump. You still need a team. So, but
Chad, I can't go with you there. That guy has put that team on his back, dude. The last
you're absolutely right.
It's been mostly him.
He's been putting, and he puts him on his back absolutely right. But guess what? And he's gone to an AFC championship, but
He's probably
he
going to
can
get to another one, dude.
But he can only hold so much weight by himself. That's my point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're never going to do it by yourself.
Bro, he needs
you got to be
more
able
help,
to do it.
right?
You got to be able to do it every once in a while.
The
by
what?
yourself.
Correct.
Every
And-
once in a while, you got to say, "Come on, let's go. I got this."
And Josh can do that. And Josh can do that.
Yes.
Yeah,
And Josh can do that.
And his teammates believe he can do that because they've seen him do
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
You could tell me about his playoff losses and all that. Yeah, I get it. And bad
Or the
games, bad decisions.
interceptions and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, he actually turns the ball over a lot.
Yeah, but there comes a
He does.
moment. There comes an important moment in the game where he straps it on, dude, and he does it.
you know what?
And I don't think guys maybe believe that Tua can do it. Maybe they don't. Maybe he doesn't believe he can do it sometimes.
Well, he's got to do it before they believe it, right?
Yeah. But no, I think they believe it. But to your point, they just have to do it to, I guess, see it.
They got to
feel that it's real.
Yeah.
To see that it's real. I truly believe this team does support and back Tua because they all come out and say
absolutely.
It.
I've told this.
Yeah.
I've told this to the GOAT.
No doubt.
I told them, you know what? This team,
They're wrong, but
they love Tua, man.
No, they absolutely do,
Tua.
man.
They respect him. They may not think he can win a game on his own, but let me tell you, they love him. They love him as a guy, as a
they want to
person.
see him do well. Nobody
They
dislikes
want
him.
him to see him do well, and they know that the guy's not malicious towards them in any way, and he takes whatever comes on top of him, wrong or right, and they respect him to that level, to the point where I don't know too many guys there that are saying, "Oh, the problem is Tua, we got to get rid of him."
You don't think anybody in that facility thinks Tua's a problem?
I didn't say that. I said,
what are you saying?
I think for the most part, the locker room supports them.
Absolutely. I'm with Bum there.
Unlike even with Tannehill and some of the other quarterbacks we had, it was quicker to get to the point where people were saying, "Hey, I don't know about this guy." That got out faster than it's gotten out up to this point with Tua.
Disgruntled.
With Tua,
you're talking about disgruntled players.
Not only disgruntled, but specifically saying, "Hey, you know what? Yeah, the quarterback maybe not so good," or Tannehill lost the game because of Tannehill, or we need to make a change at quarterback or something like that. That's been in previous years. It hasn't been with Tua so far.
With the players.
Correct. With the players.
With the locker room. And I can
because the national media and a lot of the fan base is not step in step with that.
No. But to Bum's point, I was in the locker room last preseason with Big O doing interviews and stuff, and I can tell you, those guys support him. Like to your point, they believe in him. You know what I mean? But to your point, Randy, do they believe in him enough where like, hey, I'm going to put the team on my back and like will us to win? But I also think when you're comparing Tua to Josh Allen, that's not fair because the style of quarterback play is just completely different.
Yeah, like Tua can never do what Allen did last week against
absolutely
the Steelers.
Not. But I also feel like Allen at times can't do what Tua does in regards of sitting, like being in the pocket, getting the ball out quick, seeing certain things, and they're just two different types of quarterbacks. Now, can Allen maybe do more of what Tua does because of his arm strength and stuff like that? Absolutely. And he's gotten better with his accuracy since coming into the league. But to your point, Tua is not going to translate to what Allen does. So we can't expect that from Tua. This kind of goes back to the positives with Tua this year. One thing I like to see this year from Tua, I know it sucks to see him get sacked, but he ate the sack instead of trying to force a play. Because all those major injuries he has come when he holds on to the ball more than 3 seconds or trying to force something that isn't there. So that was my whole thing. Throw the ball away or eat the sack, live to play another play. And I think he did a better job with that this year. He could definitely throw the ball more away. But in regards, but he ate a lot of sacks this year when he did get that pressure. So
it limits your offense when you have to do that. Because a lot of these other guys will try to get out of it, will try to extend it. He's not really.
But I don't want you to do that, Tua. If you're my quarterback, I don't want that from you. If you're Josh Allen, if you're Justin Fields, yes, then I want it. You know what I mean?
Yes, but you know what? And this is one of my complaints, I guess, on the negative side. I know that guy can't beat Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson from a running perspective, okay? But dude, you got to be able to scramble every once in a while and get a first down on your legs. You have to. If you
Six
you know
first
what?
downs.
if you
all
if you
year.
have a
Six.
quarterback, if you have a quarterback that you know absolutely is never going to run because they're terrified he's going to get hurt, dude, that's a big advantage to the defense.
But
Big
you know-
advantage.
easy.
But you know what? That was this year coming back from the concussions, right? If you look at his first 2 years, bro, he used to do that. I saw that. I forgot about it. Under Flores, he had that one play against the Jets where he ran over the freaking safety or something, and he was like juking. And I was like, "Yo, what? I forgot that Tua even did this." You know, like I think it could
I think
be.
there's something still fucked up with his hip, dude.
I don't.
That's possible. That's possible. But
Yeah, I'm
I
not
think
saying
just remove
yeah.
1 year removed from the concussions. So maybe
Yeah.
he didn't do that this year as much as he would like to, because maybe that's still in the back of his head. Because his first 2 years,
It clearly is.
bro, in the second year, remember we were all like, "Dude, don't do it." You know what I'm saying? Like, we
Yeah.
don't want to see you do it, but he
Well,
would do it.
again,
I'll give you
I don't
some
want him
numbers,
to run
guys.
over safeties. I don't want him
I'll give you
to
some
run over
numbers.
safeties, but I want him to be able to get a first down every once in a while. That's all I'm saying.
But
Okay,
you know what?
listen to these numbers,
At the
guys.
same
First year,
time, the way the
2020.
scheme is for him to get the ball out quick, right? So once he don't get the ball out quick, that O line is crumbling.
But you gotta
know,
have
and
that.
how much?
You gotta have that threat, bro. Look, the first year,
Yeah, I feel
10
you.
games,
No,
he got 13 first downs on the ground. Not an astronomical number. At least he's
but a
picking
good
up
amount,
game.
right? You would take
Second
that.
year, 13 games, 13 first downs. You get 1 a game. Next year, 13 games, 4 first downs on the ground. This year, even worse, 17 games, 5 first down on the grounds. That's a first down every 3 games, dude. You got to have at least the threat. Even if you're not doing it, do it. You do it early. You do it early in the game. Oh, shit. Maybe he can do it. Like, we got to account for that. It's a possibility he's going to pick one up.
Sure.
And guys, I'm not
Not
saying,
to mention the sneak. We do not have the quarterback sneak in our playbook.
another thing. And I'm not saying called plays that are hit for him to run. I'm saying if the protection breaks down, if you got to, if you have no choice, he doesn't even seem to do that. I've seen him give himself up and kind of curl up in a ball a lot of times. I mean, I think in those times you at least have to, try to move the ball forward or get to the line of scrimmage at least, not just take a sack or. I'm not talking about him being Lamar or Josh.
Yeah, we're not drawing up quarterback draw.
No,
definitely not.
I'm not moving.
But you know what, man? That could have been
pass thing.
That could have been something that was told to him this year in regards to, yo, we don't want you doing this because look what happened when you got hurt last year and the drop off of quarterback play. Now, it could be a combination of they told him not to do that. He could be a little scared. You know what I mean? With everything going on.
Hey, whatever the case may be, I'm saying it's a thing for him and the team and the offense.
To get better. No, for sure. But Randy,
we gotta have that.
No, and you brought up the stats, and that's what I'm saying. His first few years, I remember he used to actually try to do that. You know what I mean? And he would pick up some first downs. So I'm happy you brought up those stats. But I truly feel since last year, I think they emphasized to
I'm
him
sure
this
that
year,
was a point.
Hey, just eat it, bro. We want you to live, because we all thought he died.
No, and what the GOAT said, man, there isn't a game that I don't watch with all kinds of different quarterbacks, from old bums to the young rookies, that don't run quarterback sneaks, man. At least once in the game. Yeah, at least.
I think they didn't do that for
Brady.
obvious reasons.
Brady was the fucking master, dude. That pre tush push. Now they do it with Hurts and Allen. I don't know who else does
that. Got stuffed twice,
bro, by the Bucks, bro. And I'm sorry, people are sleeping on the Bucks. Everyone's got Detroit winning that, and I hope Detroit wins. But I will say this: if there's any team I think can upset this weekend, it is the Bucks.
Yeah, we'll get to the games. Yeah, but
absolutely,
that's going to be an interesting game. I don't even know who's up on the negatives here.
Oh, bro, I mean, I could just
We could go all day.
Oh yeah, absolutely, bro. I mean, there's too many negatives. I mean, we can.
How about
bring
the
up
injuries? How about
Oh,
the
that was
injuries?
one of mine. The conditioning / injuries. So something's up,
Yeah.
right? Is something up?
Something is, I don't
Yeah,
know.
it could be.
Just
Yeah.
seems.
Well, I was gonna just say in general for like the defense, just not getting that critical stop at times when we need it on third down. It felt like a lot of times where we were just playing prevent defense. Don't let them kill you over the top. But like we don't want them to get a first down. Just get a stop here. You know, like
Yeah.
I felt like there was a
The
lot of
end
times.
of that Titans game was fucking brutal, dude. The way
Dude.
they schemed that.
Dude,
That was
bro.
so
I
fucking
think the
And
percentage.
I think that's why it stuck in my head, Randy, by the way.
Yeah.
It just
Like,
it was
I
all prevent. I'm like, bro.
I think the
I
art
put that loss
percentage
on
against
Fangio.
us is like 40% on third down.
the success rate.
Against
They
this
were
defense.
definitely
About-
like very, very
Well,
bend, but don't break.
It's
Randy-
it's middle of the pack, like 40%.
Going back to it, I don't put that on Fangio. I put it on McDaniel because if I recall correctly, he went for it on fourth and whatever instead of taking the points, and that was the difference in the game. Granted, did Fangio's defense collapse at the end? Yes, but if McDaniel would have taken those points at the beginning of the game, we're not even talking about anything.
Yeah, it just seemed for 57, 56 minutes, whatever, the defense was good enough, and then just the way they just let them pick us apart with Hopkins and all this fucking bullshit.
Bro, my
and
biggest thing in that game was, and you brought it up. Oh, they pressured 50% of the time. Yeah, pressured with 3 or 4. They weren't sending blitz. If you're pressuring 50% of the time and you only have 1 sack, send some more. Send the whole goddamn sink to go get that guy. They just let him sit back there. That guy had enough time to pour a drink,
he handled it
spark up a
well,
cigar, and then throw the ball at the end of the game. It was
He just
fucking
handled it
ridiculous.
really well, dude. I was impressed by
No,
Bill Levi.
yes, it was. It was.
He
That's
showed me
11.
something. Yeah.
It may have been like his 1 or 2 best games of the
The
season.
season for sure.
And
One of those
we got
games is one of the games as a rookie that you can sit back and be like, okay, we saw that. Maybe we have something there, right? Because he stood in the face of adversity and fucking showed up, unlike we did.
All right, do you guys have any major negatives before I get into my Tyreek mini rant?
Major negatives. I mean, to me, the biggest negative is just the in-game adjustments. Actually, the only other negative I can say, and I know a lot of people are saying this and like, oh, we're this Super Bowl caliber team. I just don't think we are. I think
Clearly we're not.
and the reason why I'm saying that is look at our bench. Look at the guys coming in. I don't like everyone's hurt at the end of the year, right? Those teams that are Super Bowl caliber teams, those guys coming off the bench are next level or stepping
the
up.
Bills are super banged up on defense, dude.
Dude, but those guys are stepping up. So I feel like it's one of those things like I don't think we're as ready as people think we are. And I guess you know what? This is the negative. The expectations.
Depth.
No, well, you can say depth. I'm gonna say expectations.
Well, Chad, if you think about it, if we win 1 or 2 more games this year, regular season games, we're not going to Kansas City. Let's say we don't get the first round bye. Let's say we end up with 2.
No, Randy, and this is to your point. Listen,
we're running at home, and then you could be saying, you know, we're in the AFC Championship game possibly if we're playing at home.
But you know what? I hear you on that.
Small little
margin. It's a small margin. You're right, but you
it
know
could have
what?
been a whole different tune.
As a Dolphin fan that's 35 years old, that's seen mediocrity all my life, and then we haven't won a playoff game in the last 23 years. Now we hold the record of all of American franchises that haven't won a playoff game. You know what? This Super Bowl expectation that was brought onto this team by all the fans, highly
and the media media
unobtainable. How about just a goddamn playoff win? I would have been happy with a playoff win. We could have lost the next round, you know? But I'm just saying, I think expectations was the one that was negative. Like the media and this team brought on this expectation that they couldn't achieve. And I think that was a big, you know, opportunity for the team. Like we got to the playoffs last year. Let's just get to the next step, right? We want to see progress. Just win a playoff game now, right? Now put yourself next year to, okay, let's try to get to an AFC championship. I think that's what it is for me. Expectations was a opportunity. We put too much on us because on paper it looks like the best team we have seen in 30 years. So therefore we have to go to a Super Bowl. No.
No, I wasn't thinking Super Bowl, but I honestly at one point I started thinking if they can get one of the top 2 seeds, they could make a run at home. I never thought we could go on the road and fucking do shit. But the way that they were playing at home and getting the top 2 seed, and you go and you play a Pittsburgh, and then second round you play at home, Houston or
we
even a
wouldn't have gotten
KC.
Pittsburgh though. We would have gotten the Bills. Let me ask you a
If
question.
If we would have beat the Bills, we would have got Pittsburgh, right?
No, we would have gotten the Bills the next week back in Miami. And I'm gonna tell you this.
Right, only under a tie. Only under a tie.
I don't see us beating the Bills twice. So even if we won that game, I don't see us beating the Bills the second week out in the actual playoff game that actually counts. That's just me.
The Titan game is the one that fucked us up.
Bro, that lost us a division, and it just opened the door for freaking Buffalo, man. The Titan game fucked us. The Titans fucked us. Tannehill fucked us again, bro.
Yeah. So here's my thing with Tyreek. We're just way too reliant on him, whether it's McDaniel, Tua, whatever. He accounted for 39% of Tua's yardage, 30% of his completions. You know who's the only other guy who accounted for around those numbers?
Waddle has to be.
No, on another team that had similar production from their top receiver. And
Jefferson?
No, because he was hurt.
I didn't look at Jefferson.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna say it. Was it Puka Nacua?
No, he was he was like top 5. But the guy who was almost exactly like him was CeeDee Lamb. 38% of Dak's yards, 32% of his catches.
The NFC
There's that Dallas connection.
the NFC Dolphins.
And they did the same shit we did. But I don't know enough about their offense to know, if that's detrimental. But I felt like for us it was one, because whenever that guy was not there, it seemed like we didn't know what to do. And we never had those other guys giving us anything. We didn't have Barrios giving us anything. We didn't have Wilson giving us much. Like nobody was in the mix. It was Tyreek, Waddle, and
Can I
that's
ask you a question
it.
though? Could that be on scheme and play calling?
Absolutely.
Once again, yeah.
Yeah.
I
now,
mean,
does this is where I don't put that much blame. Does McDaniel feel backed into a corner that he has to scheme this way because this is how I can make Tua succeed. I got this fucking racehorse. I gotta ride him. I gotta do it fast. He can do it fast. I gotta,
No, I think what it was.
Does he have to do that?
No, I think what it was. Tyreek's coming out and saying he's gonna get 2,000 yards. So that's when McDaniel's like, you know what? Yeah, you know what? We're gonna go do that. I feel like McDaniel's mindset is not in the right place because if you go and watch that hard
or is Tyreek's? Does Tyreek need to shut up and get whatever yards we need to win?
Bro, I think Tyreek, as long as he wins, he probably don't care.
Well, he left KC because he wasn't getting the ball after he won a Super Bowl, right? Let's be honest about that. That was
that was a year. They didn't just win the Super Bowl. They didn't win a Super Bowl and then he came here.
I'm sorry.
They won the Super Bowl last year without him.
And they had won it a couple years before with
correct.
Him.
So, but what I just think it had to. I don't know. To me, when McDaniel in that Hard Knocks episode, right next to Dan Marino, was like, "We're coming for your records." That told me everything that I need to know.
I thought that was fucking Bush League,
bro. But that tells you where's McDaniel's head at. Are you worried about records? Or are you worried about wins?
I think
I didn't appreciate that.
No, I mean, you know what?
I didn't see that.
I don't.
What other coach do you hear saying that?
I don't mind him saying that if they were, I guess, a better team. Like, oh, we're coming for your records. But
I bet you he watches those episodes. He's gonna be like, I probably shouldn't have said that.
No, absolutely. And I think for me with him, it's just, are you worried about the records or are you worried about the wins? Because at the end of the day, the only record that matters is the record in the win column, right? And I've said this to both of you guys. I don't care. My quarterback doesn't need to be the best passer in the league. This and that. Just win me fucking football games.
By the way,
There's-
what's the Lions guy? Amon St.
Amon St. Brown.
Amon St. Brown.
He was like 33% of Goff's yards. That was the next guy in line. But I think they spread it out a little more.
Bro, Laporta gets some. Yeah, they spread that ball out. And then Gibbons are running backs really well. Like, you know,
39%, that's a lot. That's fucking, you know, you're way too reliant on that guy. Yeah. It's great to have him, right? But like you said earlier, use him as a decoy. Get clear out the underneath. Do something like that. I thought those are missed opportunities.
There's a theme around McDaniel, and one of the questions they posed, some of the writers said, "Why didn't McDaniel, among the most creative minds in sport, try more gimmick plays and add more wrinkles late in the season when it became clear that the offense approach didn't work against bad teams, and they couldn't generate enough points against the good ones anymore?" Like, there was nothing creative that came about once we started to play the better teams.
No, bubble screen.
Yeah. And
elementary play calling, bro. It was
but there's another thing to that goes back to the Tyreek.
Dude, he was playing fucking Tecmo Bowl where you only have 4 fucking plays, and like the first one was the bubble screen, and that's like he couldn't figure out how to change the plays.
But in the Kansas City game, when we're here talking about Tyreek, I'm thinking, and I said it, you said it, why aren't they throwing a few plays downfield? You know, it's their only touchdown that they got, a 53-yard touchdown to Tyreek, and then they kind of stayed away with it and went with the bubble screens.
And eight targets for
and
Tyreek.
You know what? Bum said it in the chat. In that game, they're not even doing what they did in the beginning of the year, taking shots.
Exactly.
What got you there?
Yeah.
What got you there?
Bro, absolutely. Yeah. Look, regardless of Tua's arm strength, you were taking shots and it was working. Yeah. You know, like
you got to. You got to bring those safeties in. If not, I mean, everybody's just playing deep on you.
And dude, Tyreek can probably drop a little less balls too.
Yes,
he did drop a few this year.
If he was 6'3", he probably would have had like at least another 5 or 6 catches. I'll just say that. I'm not going to put that all on Tyreek. There was a couple throws from Tua that were a little high, and if he
my God, dude, he hung out a lot. He hung out a lot of guys to fucking dry this year, dude.
So, and you guys know I'm probably the most Tua supporter on this show, I feel like. You know what I mean? But
that's not saying much, but yes.
I got to tell you, 90, though, I think you've slipped a little bit. I think you've gotten a little salty from what you've seen this season, I got to say.
Well, the only reason why, though, Bum, and I'm just going to be real, is I don't want another Tannehill situation where we're with a guy for 7 years that can't get us over the hump, so to speak. Now, do I think he's a better quarterback than Tannehill? Absolutely. I think his IQ is better. I think his pocket presence is better. But I don't, and I guess we're gonna get there. And we went to it. I feel like we're literally stuck in the same situation with Tua and Tannehill. We're gonna have to pay this guy because let me ask you, who's better that you feel comfortable going and paying for, or going for trading for, or even trying to draft that we don't have draft picks for? It's like, he's our best option. I hate to say it, but he really is. And I will say this, I've kind of, retracted myself in regards of Tua and like, hey, is he a franchise quarterback? I don't think he's a franchise quarterback. I still believe he can play the position, but he's got to be in that right situation that he was with Alabama, which I mentioned that in the years past when he was with Flores, put more weapons around him, see what he can do. But yeah, I feel like we're in the same situation with Tannehill, and we're going to be stuck with him for another 2 or 3 years. So here's another 5 or 6 years of us wasting time instead of just resetting, trying to find that guy. So that's where my retraction comes from.
Some would argue that, this guy is better than Tannehill because he's given us one playoff game more. But you have to look at how much you've spent from a draft and cap perspective to get that one more playoff. And it's not a
Tannehill never
playoff
had that.
win.
They
It's
never
not a
built around
playoff
him.
win. It's a
Yeah, but-
playoff loss.
No, I no for sure, and you're right. Tannehill didn't have that, but I also don't see Tannehill, I guess, showing up in that because despite whatever happened in the NFL, the college resume, Tua to Tannehill, who would you take? You would take Tua because he came in national championship game, won. Yes, he got hurt, but still was able to produce with Alabama. Tannehill was moved from receiver to quarterback, back to receiver. Like
I thought
and-
Tannehill's biggest sin was being drafted wherever he was drafted.
Yo,
He
absolutely.
was eight overall
Yeah.
Yeah.
of that year.
But look, Tannehill put up a couple
Converted
seasons
wide
here.
receiver.
No,
He
for
put
sure.
up a couple year 2 and year 3. Tannehill put not the same kind of numbers, but he put up over 4,000 yards. He put up 27 and 24 touchdowns.
No,
with 12
you're right.
picks. Those numbers are not the same, but they're not like it's not like he threw for 2,000 yards or 2,500
for
yards
sure.
or 3,000.
And-
He put up some numbers, and he did not have near the line or near the talent that Tua has around him.
Correct.
Yeah, results, kind of
But
both
Randy,
not good.
to your point, we took him at 8th, and we also had if I can recall correctly, we had another pick in the first round in the 19th slot where I don't think anyone was going to take him. We could have taken him there or taken him in the second round where maybe those
Probably.
expectations wouldn't have been so high on Tannehill.
Well,
Yeah.
you could have gotten another good player, which is one of my main gripes about Waddle. We had to give up another first rounder to get him. Yes, he's been a very productive player, but I would have rather had a productive player without giving up that other first round.
Yeah, but that first rounder wasn't
I never
ours.
liked that.
Yeah,
but it was
it
ours.
wasn't ours. Well, yeah,
Yeah,
we traded for it, but it technically wasn't ours, no?
But yeah,
Wasn't that
it
the whole
became
thing?
ours. It became ours, and we
No,
gave it
true.
away. We could have
We
drafted a
We
Jamar
should have
Chase.
we should have stand pat. I hate that move so much. I never liked
Dude,
it.
first rounders are so hard to come by, and we just fleeced San Francisco for theirs. Or
But let me ask you
multiple.
this though: what first round pick have we ever fucking hit on, other than Marino?
I mean, I guess you could say we hit on Waddle, but the fact that we that's like 2 first round picks, it's like almost. I don't want to say it negates it, but it's like fuck.
I mean,
All right.
not true. The only other first round pick that I can remember that we kind of hit on was Jake Long because of how long he fucking played for us.
I guess we hit on I guess we hit on Wilkins, right?
No, we did hit on Wilkins. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. But that
I would
guy's
say
awesome.
we hit on Tunsil too.
Yes.
Yeah, we
Which
did.
later became the rest of our draft.
And which actually later became the fucking Jalen Waddle fucking pick.
Yeah, they parlayed that
Yeah.
into. I just think they could have handled that better if they would have kept. You don't want to. I don't know, man. It was just.
I
like,
never liked that. You
It
could
was
dig
such
up
a small. We could have had like fucking Jamar Chase and Micah Parsons, instead of that. It was just like fuck.
yes.
It just.
Are we gonna stay on this topic? You all heard what Derrick Henry said on Buzzing with the Boys, right?
What exactly did he say?
In
About
2016.
yeah, but we hit that year.
Oh, that was Laramie Tunsil. We picked Laramie Tunsil instead of Derrick Henry.
And then the next pick, we had another early pick. We hit 2. Who was it that we hit with? Was it X-Man or was it?
I think you're right. It was X. I think it was Tunsil.
So
and
like,
X.
I can't be
Yeah.
mad about that.
No,
dude.
you're
We
right.
hit.
You're right. That's fair. But I think that was Derrick Henry thrown out in the ether, like, "Hey Greer, I would love to come. I'll give you that hometown discount, bro. Just and I'll take, bro, low hanging fruit. I will take it all day. I don't want to overpay Derrick Henry because he's at the end of his career. Yes, he still kind of is that guy, but maybe next year he's not. So as long as we can get him for a bargain, I'm all for it.
All right, let me ask this question. Do you guys think that we can win with Tua? And when I say win with Tua, I'm talking about a deep playoff run. And a deep playoff run would be the AFC Championship. Whether you win it or lose it, getting to it. That would be a major thing. Do you guys think we can do that with Tua?
You want to be honest?
And everything else going on, because we'll get into it in a minute.
All right.
There's a lot of shit going on with the team next year as far as financials,
Hey,
and
correct.
contracts, and all this.
And I'm not thinking
It's
of
a
that.
nightmare, really. It's a nightmare.
I'm not thinking that, right?
But yeah, not think about just him.
Yeah. My first answer or reaction from that, yes, I think we can. I think he's shown us enough in the sense where he can in the right system, the right scheme and play calling, he can be that. Therefore, I think he can get us there. Doesn't mean he can get us over the hump to get us to the next level, but yes, I think he could make a run. Not necessarily meaning it's going to win us anything.
So you can see the Dolphins in an AFC Championship next year with Tua.
Next year, no. I think it depends on what they do in regards of the draft and the offseason. The following year, yes. And the only reason why I'm saying that, because I truly believe for the next 2 to 3 years, we're stuck with him. So next year, no. The following year, yes.
Okay, a lot has to go into that though for that to happen because of all the shit we'll talk about in a little bit. How about you, Bum?
Well, I'm not clairvoyant, so based on that, what do you have to look at, right? You got to look at past performance, and past performance would show that he can't. He hasn't been able to. Do I believe that what 90 said, that if everything lines up perfectly, we stay healthy, would I be shocked that he gets us that far? No, but past performance would show that he can't.
Now, let me ask you this, though, Bum. We're talking past performance in regards of this year and last year, or you're talking just overall? Because I feel like the first 2 years with him in the league,
I don't even look at it.
Okay.
I don't look at
Okay,
those.
that's fair. That's fair. And that's why I'm asking. Because some people would say, well, based off of everything, but if you're just going off the last 2 years, I can, understand what you're saying.
I did hear, and I think I told you about it, Goat. I did hear somebody on the radio saying that they don't, the first 2 years of Tua were like too traumatic and he wasn't given a chance and all that. So they're counting, things from here on in. I have a problem with that argument a little bit myself, but I'm looking at the past 2 years because
and that's what I want to know.
Because
I look at the whole thing, but
for sure.
Just look at
and that's fair though too.
That really hasn't changed.
Because to me, there's no excuses when you have the talent that he has. It's not like you could have made an argument the first 2 years. Well, he didn't have a receiver, all this, that. Okay, we're past those excuses, right? You got a guy that's almost has 2,000 receiving yards. You got 21 touchdown running back, and you as a passer are top 5 in the league. Come on. I mean, there's not a lot of room for excuses there, right? So I kind of concentrate on these last 2 years.
Okay, but if you look at those last 2 years, it has not been good in big game scenarios.
Well, that's why I say
that's his point. That's his point.
These past, if you look, if you're only looking at past performance, which you have to, right?
Correct. You're only as good as your last game in this league, man.
Well, if you want to do the whole thing, I can give you the whole thing. I mean, the first year in Buffalo, we had a chance to get to the playoffs. You don't want to count it. Whatever. He played that game and he didn't get us to the playoffs. Tennessee, the following year.
I got it. But what I'm saying
last year, the 5-game stretch.
I'm gonna spot the 2-and-on people, the heavy 2-and-on people. I'm gonna say, okay, yeah, Brian Flores just mistreated this guy. Bro. He was a terrible guy. And you know what? Let's start from adding all the weapons, adding Tyreek, adding Mozart. Okay, no excuses, right? You still couldn't do it.
But now, going back to that second year, though, Randy, what you said about Flores against Tennessee, something that everyone doesn't remember, Duke Johnson was killing them in the run the first half. And then the second half, what happened? They stopped running the ball, and they put everything on Tua instead of trying to win the game. Now, you can put it on Tua for sure, but I also think that was flow, game management, bad in-game adjustments. Duke Johnson, if I remember correctly, in that game was averaging 7 yards per carry. in the first half, and we were winning. And then the second half, they stopped running the ball completely.
I agree. You're right. But if you look at
But
if we
I
look
get
at
what
the
you're
history,
saying.
he's
Yes,
had these chances to say, "Fuck that. That's not true." Couldn't do it.
Now
Fuck
let me
that.
ask you this though. Let me ask you this.
Don't tell me about the Cardinals game.
No, it's not the Cardinals game.
All right, because that
I'm
one.
just saying-
Who remembers that as a big game?
I'm just saying in general, with quarterbacks, and I'm not trying to defend Tua, but just in general, like for instance, Peyton Manning's rookie year, right? All that type of stuff. You can't.
That was a bad team, bro.
Correct.
Yeah.
My point is though, you can't overcome that obstacle or hump unless you're in those situations, right? Now, I get it. We're in year 4 with Tua. So it's like, yo, we need to see one of those get over the hump moments.
I mean, I recently started hearing people calling him veteran Tua.
No, he's not a veteran. He's not a veteran.
I mean, 4 years in, you're a vet, dude.
Well, I guess you can make that argument for sure.
He's had at least 3 full seasons, you know.
But my argument is though sometimes you can't get over the hump unless you're in those games, and he's in those games. Maybe one day he gets over it. Maybe he doesn't, you know. But from what it looks like, it doesn't look like he's going to get over it.
There's examples
in the last 2 years.
There's examples of it.
I go back to what the GOAT said, and this is absolutely true. You're given the opportunity to shut down the critics, to shut down all those people, the naysayers, all that time after time.
This year, like 3 times, the Eagles game, the Kansas City game. You can even say the Titans game because they just didn't show up at all when they were getting the ball, giving the ball right back to Levis.
Even after we lost, to Buffalo in the last game of the season, you had a chance in the playoffs.
No, you're absolutely right. With the last 2 years, you're right. You're right.
Just like the McDaniel narrative, and just like the Dolphins team in general narrative of not being able to beat the good teams, there's only one way to stop that.
You got to do it.
Don't give me blah, blah, blah. Dude, there's only one way to shut that up, and that's to do it. And that's to beat the good teams, and that's to put the team on your back every once in a while. You're not going to do it every game, but every once in a while, you got to show that you can do it. And he hasn't, up to now, he hasn't been able to do it. Yeah. Could that change? I guess it could change. He's proven me wrong with playing all the games this year. He's proven some things wrong, but that he has not been able to change that.
And you know what, Randy, to your point, 4-year vet, maybe that 5th year he takes, I'm saying maybe 5th year he takes that step, right?
And there's no chance they're not signing him, right?
To me, unless Greer makes him play out the last year.
But that doesn't seem like they're going to do that either.
Because you heard Omar say it, if they sign him, it saves the money in the cap. It'll be certain things. And I truly believe with old man Ross, and I've said this before, even Tua, and even when we had Tannehill, and I'm sure I've said it to you, Randy. I think Stephen Ross is the ultimate problem because since he's owned the team, we haven't won shit.
Everything comes from the top.
So maybe Stephen Ross is the problem, but I feel like what Greer is going to do. But look what McDaniel's done with Tua with 2 years. We've been to the playoffs twice. Now he's the passing leader. So therefore, he's going to pull that leverage to get Tua paid. But I also feel at the same time, Greer's married to him. He has to. His job depends on it.
Well, what if Ross? I'm not saying he would say this because Ross is probably just doing whatever Greer's convincing him of doing, under threat of Greer showing the naked pictures he has of him or whatever it is Greer has. He's just going to listen to him. But what if Ross were to say, you know what? This is a hypothetical question here, right, guys? Go with me on this. What if he says, you know what? I've seen enough of Tua. I don't think we can get to the next level. Find me another solution. What could potentially be a solution to that? I'm not saying whether you agree or disagree with this move. Let's just say you're the GM and I'm the owner, and I tell you, you got to get me a different guy. I'm not going to roll out with this guy next year. We know it's probably going to happen. But if this hypothetical question were posed to you as GM, what potential solution would you find for that problem? Could you find for that problem? That's out there. That's doable. Because, look what Kraft did. Kraft fucking fired Belichick, the unthinkable to me. You know, I know a lot of people say, "Oh, we saw it coming a mile away." All this shit. To me, that's still kind of like a shocker, dude. That you would get rid of a 6-time dynasty. A lot of people say best coach. I don't agree with it, but a lot of people say best coach of all time. We saw teams move on from other guys before where we thought, you know, Josh Rosen was drafted in the first round. Granted, this didn't work out. It's better, but they got rid of Rosen and then they drafted Kyler, you know, back-to-back years, if I'm not mistaken.
And then
So
we
teams
got
have
Rosen.
done
Remember
drastic
that?
moves. Huh?
Didn't we pick up Rosen at one point?
I wasn't
We
good.
did.
Yeah, I'm just saying, throwing it out there. We're
No,
like,
we got him.
oh, yeah.
We got him cheap. We got him cheap, though. I thought it was worth it, man. I wasn't mad at it.
It
What
was
did we give up,
worth
a
a
third
shot.
rounder?
It was worth a shot, to
It was
your
worth a
point.
shot.
But we're all like, yo, first round pick. Yo, come on. Let's see what he's got.
Yeah.
There's examples of this, right? You guys can probably think of other examples where teams weren't, you know, didn't have like a bum and they said, you know what, we're going to get better. We're going to do something drastic. Is there anything drastic that they could do where the team would be in a better position next year with a different guy under center? You guys thought any?
Oh, I have one. I've already thought of this. I have one that comes to mind. Bum, if you need time, I can go ahead.
Go ahead.
All right. I mean, and I'm only talking about in today's age of football.
Mm-hmm.
I would absolutely try to make a Justin Fields. I would try to make a trade for Justin Fields. He can run. He can move. He can. Granted, maybe not as accurate as Tua, but we saw what McDaniel did with Tua. So if McDaniel can do that with Tua, I absolutely believe he can elevate Justin Fields to be able to throw the ball in certain places and get that. What he can't teach Tua is how to use his legs, create, get out of the pocket. And if I had to, for instance, make that decision right now for my future, I would go with Justin Fields in regards of his age, his experience in the league.
And how could that work logistically? How would you be able to pull that off?
Well, you said hypothetically. So
Right, I mean,
I'm just saying. So now we got to be legit. Okay, so we got, I mean, obviously we would have to trade and make whatever cap space for that, but I'm just going off what you said hypothetically.
No, yeah. So what? Yeah. I'm just trying to tie it all up. What do we got to do? We got to give him our first rounder, which is a late first rounder.
Oh, and Tua, we'll probably have to give him a first rounder.
They probably don't want Tua. They probably want to draft a quarterback in that scenario from the current crop coming out. They'd want our first round.
Yo,
they
so
probably have to do like a bunch of shit. Trade Tua.
So
to somebody else, a third
or
party.
in that situation, because you picked up Tua's fifth-year option. If you want to bring somebody in to compete with him, that's what you would do then, right? Because you wouldn't pay Tua. You would just let him play out his last year. Hey, we made this move. You two are our guys. You guys got to battle it out for the number one spot and see what happens. If I was
Tua up against Fields in a competition.
Correct. But I think Fields' legs is what would give him the advantage. And all the stuff that we were talking about earlier, your quarterback maybe scrambling, picking up a couple first downs, a few rushing touchdowns, could take this team to the next level. And I think what McDaniel did with Tua, which everyone thought Tua couldn't even throw a ball in the NFL, now he's the leading league passer, right? So if McDaniel can do that with Tua, I think he can elevate Fields to the next, maybe not as, an elite passer, but he can elevate Fields to the next level where with his legs, he can still go win games. And then we might have more of a quarterback of today's age and era in regards of the quarterback being able to run, throw, and create.
Well, I don't disagree that I wouldn't mind seeing Fields here. I just think I don't know how that would work.
Well, look, I'm just going off what you said hypothetically.
But it's got to be doable somehow. He's got
I mean, hey, then
I know they're willing to move him, but they're going to want like probably a higher pick than we have to offer. That's for sure. Maybe if you did, what could you get for Tua? What do you think you could get for Tua? Who would want him?
Maybe a second or third round, maybe a second round pick, probably a third round pick for Tua, if someone wanted him. But that's a point that I was making earlier. Who's going to trade for Tua? We're in the Tannehill situation all over again.
It would have to be, a lot of the Chicago fans and, media are kind of disappointed in Justin Fields. It would have to be a situation where they just think that swapping those players you'd get so much from changing where they're at, right? Both franchises would be better off with different, and I just don't see that.
No,
You know?
because they have such high draft picks that we're always talking about winning with your rookie contract, that they're better off picking up a new quarterback with one of those draft picks.
Exactly.
100%.
Exactly.
100%. I'm just
So let's how about
hypothetically,
free
like you said,
agents? How about free agents?
I don't see anyone better than Tua.
I'd be more inclined to do like a tandem thing where you sign a vet and draft somebody. But there's so many other holes in the fucking team, that. Have you thought about this at all?
I have, and
There's no
you're
answers.
not gonna like it.
Tell me, what do you got?
Look, first of all, I think that
You're gonna tell me roll with Tua.
Greer has to sell this as the glass is half full than it being half empty. And factually, he has the evidence. We've incrementally gotten better in a way. We're going to the playoffs. We had the top offense. There are signs that point more towards up than down. So he's got to sell that way. There's no doubt about that.
But at what cost?
But let's pretend that they decide, there's no way out. We got to get rid of this guy. We got to move on from him. I would prefer that they go down the path of trying to draft a young quarterback and building that way, and God forbid starting over, because I don't see bringing in a Joe Flacco, a Kirk Cousins, or any of that being a solution.
And making the team better. I'm with you.
The Fields thing is kind of interesting because he's still young and he is tough and he has a lot of qualities that Tua doesn't have. But why would they make that move?
No, Chicago. Why would Chicago make that move?
Right. Why would they do that?
Yeah, correct.
There's only 3 veterans that I would even consider, and it wouldn't ever happen. And God forbid, I'm going to mention one name that
Tom Brady.
I'm sure I'm going to go to hell for it. There's only 3 veterans that I would even possibly consider.
Tom Brady.
Aaron Rodgers, not going to happen, right? But that would have been. I think that was last year.
We talked about that last year.
That's what we should have done last year. Okay.
Before having to pay Tua. Before having to pay Tua, to your point,
yes.
I'm with you there. You pay Aaron Rodgers and bring him in.
I wanted him last year.
The other one, God forbid, is Tom Brady. And then the other one is Matthew Stafford. I think that those are the only veteran quarterbacks that I would take a chance on.
Is that even possible?
I'm just saying. We're spitballing here.
Yeah. No, but then I'm going to the next step. Is that even possible?
We're spitballing here. Those are the only 3 veterans that I would even okay. Because look, Kirk Cousins, the Joe Flacco's, they're only going to take us a certain.
So
it may be a game. It may be a game more than 2.
Is Baker Mayfield available next year?
No, he's going to get paid by Tampa Bay, and they're going to keep him there. That's the problem.
Baker Mayfield.
He's on a 1-year deal, if I'm not mistaken, and he's going to.
I think so.
What he just did for them in that last playoff game, it doesn't even matter what they do next. He's going to get that bag, and they're going to go with him in Tampa Bay. And I'll say this: we should have gone after Baker for the cheap, just to compete with Tua, just to compete with him.
We could get somebody that gets us one playoff game, more than Tua. But I don't think it's the guy that's going to take us to the AFC Championship. I don't think those guys are there, except I believe those veterans that I just mentioned, which leads me back to the train.
Baker may be in the NFC Championship game if he wins tomorrow.
You gotta find a young quarterback if you have the balls to say Tua's not the guy.
And that's why I say Justin Fields. If I'm gonna try to make a move for a somewhat young quarterback,
that's the middle option. That's the middle option.
And I guess that's why I'm stuck there, because I'm thinking also future. I'm thinking future, 5 years from now, you can still use Justin Fields, where those guys that you're mentioning, you're looking at a 2 to 3 year window, right? Where
If
if
that.
you don't have those players around those guys, you ain't gonna win shit. You know,
Right.
so because they need that perfect, like, they're on the end of their careers, so they need that perfect storm, those veterans to kind of get over the hump. And that's why I was saying, hypothetically, if I had to make a move, I would go after Justin Fields based off his age, based off what he can do.
How about
And
Brady?
no, I wouldn't. No, I'm not. I don't want him. He's a year removed. I don't want to see that. Come on, I'm a Dolphin fan. I saw that shit for
I don't want to
all
see
my
it,
life.
but I'm just.
I know.
I'm desperate.
I wonder.
Okay, and you know what, Bum? You're right. Yeah, you might be more on the Stephen Ross side. Like, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be here, so I just need to see one, so I can understand that argument, bro.
We know they've had those conversations in the past. You know?
Yes.
No, absolutely, but I don't see Tom coming back a year removed from the league and then having to try to come back, get back into whatever shape and taking. I think truly Tom is retired. He don't want to come back. I don't see that happening.
Do you think
But-
Greer has sent out some feelers to see what he could get for Tua and potentially think about whatever he gets from him, packaging some of his picks, moving up and getting one of those top quarterbacks?
No, and the reason why?
There's too much other shit going on.
No, he chose Tua over Flores. He hired Flores and drafted Tua. He made that decision. He's laid his bed. I think at this point in time,
that's what you're saying.
he's married to Tua, and I think he's going to put all of his eggs in the basket of Tua, because let's just say in the next 2 or 3 years, even if he pays Tua, right? Let's just say he pays Tua, and the next year they don't win, they have to get rid of him. Guess what? That's the next guy's problem. That's probably going to get rid of him. So I truly believe that Chris Greer is all in on Tua, and we're stuck. Randy, I hate to be the realist here, but I truly believe it's Tannehill all over again. We're stuck with him for at least another 2 years, at least, because next year is the hot seat for him and McDaniel. So if they shit the bed, maybe we cut him. If not, we're going to keep one of them and then move forward.
I would say that definitely, Greer's hitching his wagon to what could be the end or his undoing, because, I mean, GMs die with the quarterback, right?
Dude, and we've always been pretty fiscal until now. Only the Bills, Chargers, and Saints have less
a worse cap. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? Everyone keeps saying this $40 million cap that we're over, that
60.
Greer can get. No, it's 40. I keep reading it's 40. That Greer can cut it like that.
I read. Well, yeah, there's
19 million in X alone, and we know his ass is getting released this offseason.
Yeah, and they're gonna save 20 by signing Tua long term.
So bro, I hate. You know what? And I might have turned. I hate it. That, to your point, we're going to have to sign this guy. And I've had this conversation with myself. Is he the guy? Is he not the guy?
You know what's going to happen?
Can he not do it?
Think about all the things.
Stuck.
Think about all the things you've been talking about, Chad, about how he can be successful in the right situation with the right people around him, with all that. We've kind of have that right now. We had a lot of that right now. That situation, talent-wise, next year for sure, it's going to be a drop down.
Bro, because they got to let all those guys go. Yeah, I hear you.
And if you sign a guy like this long term, kind of like what the Chiefs did with Mahomes, now it's just putting more on you because we have less for them. Mm-hmm. And Mahomes this year, that team wasn't really the same. Yes, he's getting to the next round. This is the first road playoff game he's ever going to play in his career. Can you believe that?
No, I do believe that.
I was kind of surprised. I didn't realize he's never played a road.
But you know what, bro? I just, to me, and I know everyone's hyped on the Bills and what they do. Mahomes, to me, best quarterback in the league. He's got that Marino-esque, you can say. You can't count him, even with no receivers around him. You can't count him out. And then on top of that, he's got one of the greatest offensive minds in all of NFL history with Andy Reid. And Andy Reid somehow, since he's been with the Chiefs, has somehow brought up a scheme and a game plan to get them over the hump, to win Super Bowls, go to 3 Super Bowls. You know
He's
what
got a
I'm
pretty
saying?
good
Like,
tight end too.
well, yeah, and who may be on his way out, right? But I mean, has the tight end done anything this year since dating Taylor Swift? Not really. Just saying.
So
You
what
know,
are they doing? What are they doing with Wilkins? Franchise tag? You think? Or
I think he's gone. He said the
They
same thing.
did they franchise him this year?
No, they let him play out his last year because they picked up the 5th-year option from his rookie year, and he said the same thing that he said about Gesicki last year in the exit interviews. He earned the right to go get paid. He took a gamble on himself and then earned that right to go get that contract. Therefore, I do not think we signed Christian Wilkins. I would be surprised if we do, because he wants to get that 26 to 28 million a year, where I'm pretty sure Greer offered him like 20 or 22 million a year, but he took a gamble on himself. And I don't know if you guys saw the Christian Wilkins end of speech at the last game, but he pretty much said, yo, y'all boys who come back next year, make sure bro, I'll send it to you, Randy. You'd be like, bro, that guy's on his way. Bro, we're not going to pay him what somebody else is going to pay him. He may not live up to what they're going to pay him, but I think he's out. I think he's gone. Absolutely.
I mean, if you look on the other side, Sealer had a tremendous fucking season too.
Why though? Because of him.
We're gonna find out.
Play off of each other. When one guy gets a double team, the other guy's able to go in and get the quarterback. Just saying. Look at it. One guy gets double team, the other guy succeeds.
Yeah.
The other guy that we paid a ton of money, was it last year or the year before, and likely will be gone, is Agba.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But Agba doesn't fit Fangio's scheme. I think he struggles in this, and even though you just need him to rush the quarterback, he struggles with that. So,
Have you guys looked at mock drafts?
No, bro, I'm still.
You're still processing it.
No, I'm not, bro. I'm at a point. I just like, why am I even look at it? Because I feel like we're gonna be in the same mediocrity shit next year. Just my entire life, bro. My entire life, mediocrity.
Taking a tackle and a center with the first 2 picks.
We definitely need a center, because we definitely need a center.
Yeah.
Well,
you want to see Armstead anymore?
Armstead said that we have to sign Connor Williams.
Well, thanks, bro. We'll make you the GM fucking next season.
Yeah.
For now, why don't you try fucking playing?
And by the way,
play an entire season. Thank you.
I think he got rated one of the top centers
for the 5 minutes he played. Oh, you're talking about
Connor Williams.
Yeah, but also too, man. Was it him? Was it Tua with the snaps? Connor Williams is not necessarily a true center that they moved over to center. Like, I think they need to go draft a center. Absolutely. A legit center that's been playing center, maybe not since Pee Wee, because I don't know of any center that's been playing since Pee Wee football. But you got to get a guy that's been playing center at least from like high school or college and understands the role.
Is there a scenario where they could have their, what's that saying, have their cake and eat it too, where they sign Tua, but with one of their first picks, they get a quarterback like Penix or something?
Bro, I would love that. I would love that. And you know what?
Also, it'll add as a motivator for Tua to play better. And then they sort of hedge their bets, right? They secure the guy that sort of has been playing well for them, right? And they get something for the future in case he doesn't work out.
But you know what, Bum? What I would do in that situation,
he's another fucking lefty too, by the way.
Not pay Tua, let him play out the 5th year, and you draft that guy to literally put the pressure on him to see what he can do before you pay him.
Yeah, but
that's what I would do.
By the way, I don't like Penix so much. I just threw that name out because I saw some mock drafts where he could land to us. I don't necessarily like him, but
did you watch him?
Yeah.
He had a great year.
All year. Bro, other than the national championship where he had broken ribs, bro, his ribs could have been broken After
There's
that one
a
play.
lot of QBs that I like in the draft this year.
That kid could play, bro.
I
That
like
kid can
Bo
play.
Nix.
Yeah, I like Bo Nix, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, from North Carolina?
No,
Right?
that's Drake.
Oh,
I
no,
think.
Drake.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
Bo Nix is Oregon.
Oregon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't fucking trust Oregon. Fuck that. Look at your boy Herbert, bro. He's won the same amount of fucking shit as Tua's won, bro.
Come on,
Nothing.
dude.
Yeah, bro. He's got.
We're not gonna do this today, Chad.
I'm just saying, yo.
We've been playing nice, bro.
He can have all the stats he wants, but if you want to talk about big games,
I thought you were gonna tell me Joey Harrington. I would have gone for that one, but
bro, your boy Herbert in that playoff game last year looked great in the first half, and then was just non-existent. Now it could have been play calling,
You don't think the coach had anything to do with that?
Could have been, but you know what? To your point, your quarterback only brings you as far as you can go.
I mean, he brought us pretty far in the first fucking half, dude. Like, they should have found a way to win that game.
Then how come they didn't just ride them to the end of the game, bro?
They probably could have rammed the fucking clock out that
game.
Bro,
what I don't understand, to your point, yes, they could have with fucking Eckler, who's probably one of the top 5 running backs in the league, right? But they still didn't.
Epic collapse.
You know?
I would like to see him draft a quarterback.
I think that's probably the scenario that would sort of keep everybody happy in a way, right? The Tua haters get
I draft that kid from Michigan.
A potential person to replace him.
He didn't do. He's just as a game manager as Tua is, bro.
He seems like he has a pair on him.
Okay. What? Because Harbaugh's behind there, fucking cheating.
I like their style of play, dude. I just like the old school fucking style of play that they fucking used. He's not like super accurate either, but I don't know, dude. You got to try. I want to see.
I think Penix would be better than that, bro. Just saying.
Yeah, but I just think that's going to be much harder to get him. I think McCarthy you maybe could get him in the second or third. Penix is probably going to be a first rounder.
Hey, I'm going to throw this out there. Not this year, but maybe next year. Shedeur Sanders. The kid can play quarterback, man.
I heard that he might declare this year.
He could play quarterback. And by the way, I've heard this before. This is just, Deion Sanders, primetime, he's playing fucking NCAA and Madden, bro. He's about to take all of his kids from NCAA, import them into Madden, and then go into Madden and be coach, bro.
I don't know if I want to import primetime to Miami, dude.
I'm not saying I want to import him, but I'm just saying, that's what it seems like primetime is trying to do. Like, I'm going to bring my kids in the college game, and then when they get there, I'm going to go to the pro game. But I do think Shedeur Sanders, in regards of a pure quarterback, he is a pure quarterback, man. That kid sits in the pocket. He faces adversity when it's coming in, throws in it, tries to move and make,
he can run when he has to run.
I think that kid could be a legit quarterback in the NFL when that time comes.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I don't know. I think there's just some opportunities in the draft. I was disappointed that they didn't let Skyler do more this year.
By doing more, just Mike White. That hindered Skyler's development. They signed Mike White for the $5 million.
I don't get that.
And Mike White didn't do anything. He didn't come in and do anything. I feel like that hurts Skyler. To your point, that hurts Skyler because Skyler could have been more like a Matt Moore. We all, as Dolphin fans, we all love Matt Moore as a backup, right? We felt comfortable with him. Could he be a starter? Not so much. But if he was coming in as your backup, you'd be all right.
You mean Super Bowl winning Matt Moore, right?
Oh, okay. Oh, you're gonna do that? Okay. Yeah. He was all right. Hold on. If we're gonna do that bump,
Chad Henne.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna say. If you're gonna do that, you mean Chad Henne, Super Bowl winner? Come on, man.
Yeah, I just thought it was the natural progression where, hey, this guy won a game at the end of the year. He played in a tough playoff game. He showed something. You at least earn the right to be the backup. I'm not saying fucking start him. I'm saying,
I'm with you.
Let this guy get the mop-up duty.
That would have saved us money that we could probably have gone and gotten Dalvin Cook with.
What do you need to pay $5 million? Just fucking get anybody. If you're down to your third guy, you're down to nothing anyways, probably. So
yeah, I don't get that move.
And it seemed like it was two or nothing. How much did
they pay Baker? The other thing about Baker Mayfield, you could talk about Baker Mayfield. He wanted to start. He wasn't going to go be the backup.
For sure.
No,
for sure.
Yeah.
But to your point, though, it felt like this year was 2 or nothing. So why did it even matter paying White fucking $5 million for 2 years? They could have just kept with Skyler on the rookie deal.
At least they didn't pay $10 million like they did to fucking Teddy and like they did to fucking Jacoby, So I guess it was a step in the right direction, but I didn't like it. I was like, ugh.
Yeah, but I think the reason why they paid those guys that was just their veteranism at that point, right?
Well,
they were
guys
veterans,
that
right?
started and shit like that, and they were more shaky on Tua at that point than they were this offseason. I thought it was a perfect time to save that money and let this kid be a fucking backup.
Yeah, and let Skyler go. And you know what they should have done? Let Skyler be the backup. And like any smart organization, you draft one fucking late. And let that guy be the fucking guy that sits behind Skyler and see what's happening. But
Mike White's going to be back next year.
Yeah, because he signed a 2-year deal. So next year he's on his last year. Yeah.
Well, that also puts you in a position where if you draft somebody,
you're gonna have to make a decision.
You're gonna have to take a cap hit. It won't be major, but if you'd probably.
You're not. I think, bro. It's just.
Does the signing of Mike White say what the franchise thinks of Skyler, though?
Yeah,
I think so.
It was weird because
you know what? That's unfair to Skyler, bro, because he could have won that game in Buffalo.
Absolutely, I think.
And if he wins that game, do they even think about bringing Matt White?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And maybe at the end of the game, was it really Skyler or the fucking play calling?
Yeah, no, it was the delay of games, getting the play in on time.
As well as he played in that playoff game, I would have thought that would have cemented the backup role.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. He scored 31 points in a playoff game. Tua's just scored 7.
Yep.
All right. How about special teams?
Oh, Crossman needs to go. He needs to go. And I'm not blaming the Buffalo game on him because if you look at that punt return, 2 guys tripped over each other. So I don't want to blame that fully on him. But throughout the entire season, the special teams has been terrible. Crossman needs to go. And if McDaniel is a real head coach, he will fire that guy.
I got to tell you, though, it's pretty bad fucking luck. Not 2 guys just bumped into each other. We lost our best special teams guy in that play, running into each other.
But you know what? The second best special teams guy, because we lost our fucking linebacker with Jerome Baker, so they had to put Duke Riley in there, who usually is in there, and Duke Riley's probably our best special teams guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love Duke Riley, but I don't want him being the center of my fucking defense and linebackers. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that's another thing. Like, we haven't had like great linebackers in a while.
But you know what, bro? I don't know if you've watched Hard Knocks. The last episode of Hard Knocks showed me Jerome Baker's as fucking Dolphins as it gets, man. And I feel so bad for that guy. And I don't think he's going to be here next year. I think he's one of those guys as well that's probably going to be not given a contract and goes somewhere else. And the fact that we had to give him up and let Duke Riley come in, and I'm not trying to hate Duke Riley. Reminds me of Izzo.
They were just devastated by injuries,
guy, but when you need him to play defense, just wasn't enough in a sense. You know what I mean?
There's a reason that he's a backup and a special teams guy.
No, for sure, absolutely,
and he's good in that role, but not the other one.
Yeah,
I don't think the linebackers are terrible. I just think the injuries fucking expose, the other levels of that.
David Long Jr. had a good fucking year with us, by the way.
I heard that people are talking about our linebackers coach as possibly a defensive coordinator, or at least taking some interview. I heard that somewhere. I don't know.
All I hear is the fucking offensive coordinator. What is it, Frank Smith or whatever his name? I don't know what his name. Yeah,
our fake offensive coordinator.
Yeah, he's the one that keeps getting the looks.
That's odd because he's not really even calling plays. I guess that's the NFL nowadays.
Bro, it's just like McDaniel, though. Think about it. We're the only ones that gave him a head coaching job interview. You know what I'm saying? And he wasn't calling offensive plays, and we gave him the head coaching job. I just feel like it's a product of,
That was the same thing with Flores.
Yeah, absolutely.
But on the defensive side.
Mm-hmm.
How about X-Men? Out?
Out. Yep, they're
Yeah.
releasing him. He's too much money. I feel like the fan expectation of him, they want what he was 2 years ago, and there's just too much mileage on him. Like, and it's not even his fault. It's just too much mileage, and I can't. Yeah, but too many strippers. You know what I'm saying?
2 picks in his last 28 games,
bro. But again, he wasn't what he was 2 years ago, and I think it's just one of those things. Father time has caught up with him. Also, probably the strippers. So,
dude, do you think, getting back to the Kansas City game for 1 minute, do you guys think we should have been practicing up there instead of down here?
That was one of the 10-9 questions in the Herald. Why didn't McDaniel take the team out early and have a night practice to acclimate them to the weather?
Yeah, man.
Has to go with adjustments. Maybe not in game, but pre-game adjustments.
That's an adjustment.
Yeah,
that's an adjustment.
It could relate to in-game adjustments. So that's a McDaniel, bro. As much as people want to put Tua on the hot seat, and he absolutely should be, I feel like McDaniel needs to be on there too.
All right, but I'll ask you this question, Chad. You know my answer. Would you rather see Tua with a new coach or McDaniel with a new quarterback?
McDaniel with a new quarterback. And that's just being real.
The same.
Only because of what I've seen McDaniel do with Tua and get him to this point.
Right.
Okay, I would give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, let's just say next year we don't do nothing, right? And Greer somehow keeps his job. It's like, you know what, bro? We got to get rid of Tua. I'm going to let you get your guy. Let's see what you can do with him. That would be my, take on that.
It definitely seems like he was able to elevate him with, all the shit he did. Incredible. And
that's why you think he can coach. You know what I'm saying?
But, yeah, he just doesn't have the total package yet, at least. I do think that some of his deficiencies as a coach could be they're fixable, right?
With experience and time.
Right.
We live in a league though that you don't have time. And he could be like a Dan Quinn.
I don't think you could fix them, some of his shortcomings. I don't,
But he's short. We know that. Okay.
Yeah. No, not his height. But yeah, we're also not.
Sorry.
We're also not going to make him 6'4". That's never going to happen. But maybe fucking McDaniel can learn to get the plays in on time. Maybe he does that by fucking letting somebody actually be the offensive coordinator. He still is in on the scheme and he's in on big decisions, obviously, and shit like that. There's things that he can do. Probably easier than all of a sudden Tua is going to fucking run a lot,
But you know what? To that point, I feel like if he gives up play calling and focuses more on being a head coach instead of – because to me, it just seems like he's a glorified offensive coordinator at this point, right? If he can give up that play calling, focus more on being a head coach, that could help this team get to the next level.
He's learning how to do two things he's never done at the same time.
Correct. And you kind of have to give him the benefit of the doubt for that, right? So you just gotta,
Yeah, I think he's got to give it up, dude. He's got to give it up.
It could be one of those situations where we let him go. He goes somewhere else, becomes a coordinator, learns a little more, and then gets that second chance, and then actually flourishes. And to me, it feels like that. And I hate to say that because I wanted to flourish with us, but it feels like everything that he's going through, like growing pain wise as a head coach, is happening with us. So can we invest in him for the long future and kind of give him that time and be patient? Or are we like, most NFL teams where it's win now or you're out?
Talking about that, I propose, if they get out of Tua, who's available? I wonder if they've had any talks about, like, what if we can get fucking Harbaugh? What if we can get who's the big fish out there that are still out there, coaching wise?
Harbaugh, Belichick,
and
Belichick. Is that pretty much a done deal? Vrabel's out there. Is Belichick a done deal?
Bro, why they fired Vrabel is beyond me.
Crazy,
That guy
dude.
can coach, bro. That guy can fucking coach.
They fucked
I
up.
think those are the big three, from a big catch perspective, right? Vrabel, Belichick, and Harbaugh.
Would they consider doing fucking Mark Jackson, Steve Kerr if they could get fucking Harbaugh?
I don't think Harbaugh takes his team to the next level. And if I'm Harbaugh,
You
I'd
don't think
stay-
Harbaugh what? I'm sorry?
can take this team to the next level. With
Harbaugh-
Tua, let's be real.
Yeah,
Now,
I
and
mean-
you know I'm a Tua fan, but now you're gonna tell me Harbaugh's gonna take this team to the next level with Tua.
Well, he might change
may
the
have-
whole
right. He may have the balls to make the changes.
He might. Well, not only that, but let's say he's stuck with Tua for whatever, maybe for one season at least or whatever. He may change the whole fucking thing to like, hey, we are gonna fucking pound the ball because that's what I like to do, and I'm gonna fucking run first and then pass. He has a totally different style. Maybe he does something different where that helps Tua, where he's doing more by doing less. If you know what I mean. You're not putting so much on him. You're pounding the fucking ball like I'm always fucking yelling.
And then
This year not so much because he did a little more of it, but Harbaugh likes to fucking run, dude.
Well, and to your point though, if you look at the Bucks, even when their run game wasn't working, they still run the fucking ball because guess what? You're gonna bite on that fucking play action because all we've been doing is running the ball. So I get what you're saying there. I don't. For me with Harbaugh, and I could be completely wrong here, but with Saban leaving and with everything just happening with Michigan winning the national championship, I would feel like as Harbaugh, like this could be my time to be the next guy in fucking college where it's not even a question. Everyone wants to come play for me. Yep. And to me, I just don't see Harbaugh leaving that. Now, I know everyone's saying he wants to go win a Super Bowl. He wants to go back to the NFL. If he goes to the Chargers, he's got Herbert and this and that. I don't know. I
he interviewed with them once or twice.
I think just once. I don't know if it's twice. But my other thing was with Harbaugh is he just went to Michigan proposing his contract extension, asking for immunity, despite of whatever comes out with what just happened with them with the cheating, right? So if that guy's asking for immunity in college football, I feel like he wants to stay there. But that's
maybe. But there's also another thing. Like they either forced him or he took a pretty big pay cut a couple years ago.
Well, yeah, because he should have been fucking fired because they were not. But remember, he's got 5th and 6th year seniors from fucking COVID from last year. That's why they won the national championship.
Dude, did you hear about this? Talking about this guy who got his 9th year of eligibility.
Yeah,
I heard that,
bro. PhD McCormick. Yeah,
what the fuck?
I think he's going for his PhD, but it also has to do with his first 2 or 3 years in the NCAA. He was completely hurt with Oregon and couldn't play.
Yeah,
and then they've given that. But you know what? If I was a college player right now and how much these kids are making on the NIL deals, I wouldn't go to the fucking NFL as well because they're making more money in college now than the NFL as a rookie. So I don't blame the kid. I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. The Harbaugh thing's interesting because if they come down, I guess he's cleared, right? They're not going to fuck with him anymore. If they're not going to fuck with him anymore, he might just fucking stay and be the fucking man, bask in the glory. But he's a fucking competitive guy, dude. He may want to just fucking win.
True.
At the NFL level and fucking his brothers at coach. Who knows, dude? Who knows what the fuck's going to happen? May not be this year.
I just don't see Harbaugh leaving college, just me personally. And then I also don't, to your point, can Harbaugh come in and change everything? Absolutely. But I don't think Harbaugh is going to be the guy to get us over the fucking top because if he comes in, we're looking at least another 2 to 3 years of fucking rebuilding and letting this guy come in and do what he's got to do. So if we're talking about winning now,
I'll tell you what, that would save freaking Greer's ass, though.
If he got Harbaugh?
Yeah, because they buy him more time.
Don't tell that to Randy, because he's the main factor of why we've been losing for the last 20 years.
He is the common thread. He's the only guy.
Ross. No, Ross. I'm sorry. I'm
him too.
Ross.
When did Ross buy the team?
Oh, that was after 2008 or 2007.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
say it
so
was like
Greer's here
mid-2000s.
even longer than Ross.
Yeah, but Greer wasn't the fucking GM, bro. He was like
No,
some
I know, but in
fucking
the
scout
organization.
then. Yeah.
In the organization. And he was part of that Trident GM thing, too. He was part of that Tannenbaum, Greer, and what was the other?
Bro, first of all, I don't care. The biggest mistake the Dolphins ever fucking did was giving Dennis Hickey 1 fucking year, then firing him to bring in Tannenbaum. Because at least Dennis Hickey fucking drafted all the areas that we needed at the time. And was
Tannenbaum.
trying
I
to
actually
build
like Dennis Hickey.
Yeah, he
actually
if I'm not mistaken, he's the one that drafted J.A. Ajayi, who gave us the fucking best 3
And-
years.
and
in
Jarvis
fucking-
Williams, I think.
And Jarvis
saying,
Landry.
Jarvis Landry.
Jarvis
Yeah.
Landry's 19. Jarvis Williams 1986 draft.
Yeah,
I don't know who
sorry.
the GM was. At that
I'm
No,
sorry.
but Hickey gave
Jarvis
us Ajayi
Landry.
and Landry, and then they gave him 1 year, and then Candace asked for Tannenbaum, and then Tannenbaum brings in fucking Parcells, and that whole fucking debacle. It was terrible, bro.
That was like some mafia shit. Let's go to Miami and
Dude.
get fucking paid,
Bro, absolutely. And then we're already in Miami. We got paid. We can just fucking retire.
Yeah, Tannenbaum.
I'm with you, Bum. Dennis Hickey did not get a fucking real shot at what he can. And then he left, if I'm not mistaken, went to New Orleans, and then that's when they won a fucking Super Bowl.
Dude, and the guy who still has a job in Detroit is Spielman, right?
Yeah, which is crazy.
That's insane.
And Jeff Ireland.
And Jeff. Oh my God.
He's actually
Jeff
being
Ireland?
interviewed. He's in the Saints. I think or Seattle. I think he's interviewing for GM openings.
Jesus. Okay, guys, let's look at these games this weekend.
Let's go.
Tomorrow night.
Enough of misery with the Dolphins.
Let's move on from this shit.
Look at
before I
entertainment. You know?
cut my veins here. 4:35 p.m. Houston, Texas, at the 1 seed Ravens. Is this too much respect? Ravens are favored by 9.5.
Absolutely not. I would take the Ravens in this game. I've heard talk of people saying that, Texans are going to be the team to do the upset. Possibly, but I just don't see it. I do not see Harbaugh, with his experience, winning a Super Bowl. I don't see him losing to this inexperienced team. Are the Texans a good team? Yes. They're very inexperienced. They have a rookie quarterback. Is he great and phenomenal? He is, but I just don't see he's going to get over the hump in his rookie year. I could be wrong, but I got Ravens in this game. Absolutely.
Covering the 9.5.
You know what? I might take, if I was a betting man, I might take Texans. They might cover that spread. But
All right.
To win, I'm taking Ravens.
Yeah, I don't think they'll win. I just think the 9.5 is a little bit high, probably.
No, I'm with you there. And you know what? They've been in every game, it seems. They play all their games really close. So I'm with you there. And they always seem to find a way to fight back in games when they're down. So I feel you there, Randy.
Yeah, because they're kind of predicting like a 34-24 game, something like that is what they're looking at. I probably would think the Texans can keep it closer than that. I don't expect them to win, but fucking hats off to fucking the Texans and fucking Stroud for making it this fucking far, dude.
I love CJ Stroud. That obviously looks like a great pick. He's played great, but I think this is the game where it's welcome to the NFL. I think I think he gets to understand what it is to be a rookie in his first playoff game. So I'll even take Baltimore with the points.
By the way, I have my pick on this, guys.
Piggyback?
Yeah, this version of it, at least, I don't think you need to. It's not terrible, but I can't tell you go and buy it. It's just okay, I have to say.
Okay.
I'm gonna have another one, but
it's no Buffalo Trace.
No, it isn't.
All right.
But I mean,
noted.
It's drinkable, but this is not a first round draft pick. Okay, the second game, the night game tomorrow night. This I think this could be interesting, even though they haven't fucking picked us a fucking blowout too. 9.5 points again here. Packers at Niners. Are you guys buying any of this Jordan Love Packer streak, or you think the fucking Niners are just going to be well rested and steamroll right over them?
You think Brock Purdy is he like under pressure here at all?
Under pressure. Dum, dum,
No?
dum,
think so.
dum, dum, dum. If he loses this game, are they looking at like, oh fuck, do we need a different guy?
Bum, think
No,
about it.
not necessarily.
He's only 1 year removed from being the guy that's like, hey, we don't know if we're gonna play you. Then the trade it sucks. We're gonna trade him. So yeah, we're gonna throw you in there. I think he's still in that honeymoon phase, so to speak. If he was to lose this, I don't see them losing this. As much as I love the Packers, and I think Jordan Love has been the best quarterback with, like, let's just say with the last 5 or 6 games in the league, in the end of the season, he has been one of, if not the best quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks.
18 touchdowns versus 1 pick in his last 6 or 7 games, something like that.
So even though I believe he's been one of the best quarterbacks towards the end of the season, I just think it's going to be one of those. Not that he's a rookie, but he's his 3rd year. It's his first year going to a game like this and that caliber. I think San Fran and their experience with Shanahan, and you can be on the outskirts with Purdy, but I think everything else around Purdy is way more experienced than what they have on the Green Bay side. Therefore, it's going to elevate them above them. So I see Green Bay winning. If I was a betting man, I would definitely take Packers on the spread because I think they could cover that, but I think the Niners win.
Yeah, I'm with you. These are 2 quarterbacks we could have had, by the way, guys.
Oh yeah, rub it in.
Let's throw that in. To answer your question, Bum, I think probably whoever put Purdy as the starter and got rid of everybody else is probably feeling more pressure than him. He's Mr. Irrelevant, dude. He's not even supposed to be here. And the other guy, he's also exceeded expectations. So,
yes and no.
I mean, he's done just in this aspect. He's done what Aaron Rodgers couldn't do in his first year as starter. He's done what Brett Favre wasn't able to do in his first year as starter. And I believe that was just last week, getting to a playoff game, much less winning one. So I don't know. I definitely would expect the Niners to win, but I would think.
Can you imagine being Green Bay though? Think about that. Go from
Hall of Famer to Hall of Famer to pretty fucking
potentially good. Maybe another Hall of Famer. It's fucking crazy, man.
I'll tell you,
it's never been done.
We need to we need to hire the guy who's picking quarterbacks over there. That's who the Dolphins need. Whoever's picking quarterbacks.
That's who we should make a move for.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, get that guy. Then let him fucking tell us.
But is the GM or is the coach? Who knows? Fuck.
Favre was a trade, and that was that Wolf that they had at that time.
Tom Wolf, is it?
I thought it was
something
Ron
Wolf. Ron Wolf. Yeah.
Ron Wolf.
Yeah, they traded for Favre. I don't know who drafted Rodgers, but that was pretty ballsy.
Yeah.
Think about it. All of them were pretty ballsy. The trade not so much, but drafting Rodgers while you had Favre and drafting Love while you had Rodgers. It was,
it was all the right moves.
You can't be afraid to do that.
And that should be a lesson to everybody else that you always have to be looking for that quarterback.
Absolutely. How about you, Bum? Who do you like here?
So sneak preview. I'm going with all the home teams winning except in the KC Bills game.
All right. And to cover. You like the Niners to cover?
I'll say yeah.
Okay, so you're expecting a pretty easy go of it. Okay, and then Sunday, 3:00, Buccaneers at the Lions. Lions are favored by 6.
Give me the Bucks. I'm gonna take, bro. I think I take the Bucks out right here. I feel like they're the ones that are gonna pull the upset of the weekend, man. Honestly,
there always has to be one,
bro.
At least
Todd Bowles, he's done it. He's got a Super Bowl. I love Man Campbell. I love the whole story behind it. But just like the Dolphins, you really trust the Lions.
No, I didn't trust them last week, so I wouldn't.
And
be
they
shocked.
almost lost it last week.
Yeah.
You know, they almost lost it last week.
I don't know if the Bucks will win, but I would take them to keep it closer than 6. Bob, you think the Lions are covering?
I'm going with the Lions.
All right, and then
Bucks money line, I'll take it.
they're the crown jewel of the weekend here. Chiefs at the Bills. Bills are favored by 2.5. What do you guys
Fuck
think?
the Bills, give me the Chiefs.
I'm going with the Chiefs also.
I'm going with the Chiefs too. I think this is the fucking heavyweight fucking matchup right here.
It feels like whoever wins this game is going to win the Super Bowl.
It feels like it, right?
Yeah, I swear to God. Even though the Ravens are the fucking favorites, bro.
But
In the AFC.
yeah, the odds tell you the Super Bowl will be Niners Ravens, obviously, but somebody here has something up their fucking sleeve in this game, dude. And then fucking anything could happen. So if the Ravens win and the Chiefs win, then you'd have the Chiefs going to Baltimore. And then you guys would like the Chiefs there too?
Shit. That's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really hard.
That is hard.
Like the Chiefs there.
Yeah.
But, would I be surprised if the Chiefs win there? No. But being it's at home in Baltimore, damn, you know what? I'll take the Chiefs there. And only because we talked about it earlier. We're talking about results of what we've seen, right? We haven't seen Lamar get over that. As much as Lamar has won the MVP and has looked good, has he won that big game to get to the next big game? No, he hasn't. So I'll take the Chiefs there. Damn, I can't believe I just said that.
And what if the Bills win and the Ravens win? Would you like the Bills versus the Ravens in the AFC Championship?
Fuck. I hate to say this, but not that I would like the Bills to win, but I think they fucking win. Only because
I'm surprised, bro, that you fucking.
Only because we talked about it earlier, and I fucking hate it. And one of my best friends is a Bills fan, and I fucking hate it because Josh Allen is the second coming of fucking Jesus for them. He can do fucking everything. Walk on water, turn water into wine, fucking run over people, throw touchdowns. And to what we said earlier, we've seen Josh Allen put this fucking team on his back.
I hated seeing him celebrate so much, dude.
I know, I hate it too. But the fact that I've seen him, what we said earlier, put the team, that could be one of those games. He just says, you know what? Y'all fucking ride my back. I'm going to get us there. And I feel like I would fucking trust Josh Allen more than I would Lamar Jackson. And I can't believe I'm saying it, but I would feel like the Bills will fucking Ravens there.
Either one of those scenarios would be a fucking.
I would not. Bro, I would be rooting so hard for the Ravens, just so you know. I don't want to see it, but I'm just being real with my true feelings there. Okay, you know.
And then the NFC Championship. Just think about it, dude. We're gonna have.
Hold on. I just want to make sure this is a safe place, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
We're gonna have, no matter any way you slice it, either the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or the Detroit Lions in the NFC Championship game. Can you believe that?
Damn.
That's gonna happen. One of those two teams is gonna be in the NFC Championship.
I'm all for that, though, man.
No, I like.
I'm all for that. I love the parody. Then
I didn't like it when Brady was there, but you know it's different.
Yeah, no.
Baker Mayfield there,
bro. You know I'm so happy for Baker because I feel like he got a fucking bad run in Cleveland, man. That kid played hurt so many times, and they just a shit organization, and still is. Like even with everything happened, like look at them, still a shit organization. I feel like, and to see him like come up and prosper, I'm happy for Baker, man.
Oh, I gotta hand it to him. I thought that guy sucked, and I thought, you know, they overhyped him, and he was on every fucking commercial, and like, you know, kind of flamboyant. And I was like, oh, I'm sick of this guy. And like, he really he took it on the chin. He fucking did the right things, you know, and he fucking came back and did that little cameo with Rams, and good for fucking
bro,
him, dude.
and he sat, didn't say shit, waited for his fucking, and just said, you know what? I'm just gonna let my play fucking speak for itself, and you got his time again, bro.
Yeah,
he's on his fourth team.
Dude,
what's that?
He's on his fourth team.
I know, in the last fucking couple years too, and
exactly, because he was with Cleveland for what, 2 or 3 years?
He won a playoff game with them.
Yeah, more than that, I thought.
And on the other side, you got to be, I don't really care for either of these franchises, but for the fucking fans of Detroit, if they can fucking somehow get to the fucking championship game, fucking,
I would feel, bro. I'm with you there. Like,
good for them,
dude. I feel like if there's any team that can relate to fucking us, it's been them, right? So, like, I would feel like, as a Dolphin fan, I would feel happy for them. Absolutely, man.
I would say, like, if they can do it, we can
do it. No, bro. I'm just bro. And I'm 35, and I know I have a lot to live, bum. Okay, because I'm not of the age of you yet, right? As Goat likes to emphasize. But man, I just hope fucking Dolphins are good for my kid's lifetime, man. I said it to Randy earlier. The greatest organization in Miami of my lifetime, and I'm 35 years old, is the Miami Heat. Three fucking championships. Even when LeBron left and before that, we had a team that was always trying to get to the playoff. We're the hardest working, grittiest, baddest, whatever their saying is, right? Like, I feel like I am that because of them. You know what I mean?
They've never been like fucking limp dick where you've just fucking,
dude. And that's been one of my arguments for the organization. LeBron left fucking Cleveland. What happened? They went to the bottom of the fucking barrel and got Kyrie Irving. He left fucking Miami. We still were a playoff team. We still meant, like, even with Whiteside, who we all know is a fucking bum. Eric Spoelstra coached that kid to the max. You know what I'm saying? Bro.
Yeah, to the max contract.
Dude, but think about that. If we can clone Spoelstra and fucking Riley to run the Dolphins, we wouldn't even be in this misery, bro. Just saying.
Oh, fuck. Dude, but it certainly seems like whoever wins that Packer-Niner game is going to the Super Bowl, right? Or do you think...
Oh, 100%. If the Packers beat the Niners, I would say they're going to the Super Bowl. I'm with you there. Because the Niners were the favorite to go to the Super Bowl in the NFC since the beginning of the season.
Yeah. And the Packers are just doing what you want to do in the playoffs, hot at the right
time. Bro, they got hot at the right time. Jordan Love's playing out of his mind. And you know what? The Packers know what they're doing. And
I don't know a whole fucking lot about that.
Bro, think about this, man. And I'm sorry. And it's a product of what today's NFL is. What I was saying earlier, you're only as good as your last game, and you got to win now, right? The Packers did it with Aaron Rodgers. They drafted him. He sat behind Brett Favre for, 3 or 4 years? Aaron Rodgers learned what throw not to make, because we all see fucking Brett Favre throw that same fucking interception to get to the NFC Championship, to get to the Super Bowl. Yes, he got one, but in regards of quarterback play, Aaron Rodgers is the expectations of what we want now. Think about this. We talked about Josh Allen. He turns the ball over, right? But that's like that old school 90s play. Marino, Elway. But you're going to live with that because you know he's going to make up for it somehow, right? Now we want all of our quarterbacks not to throw any interceptions. They got to be efficient. And turnovers are the last thing you need to do. And I feel like Aaron Rodgers learned how to do that by sitting behind Brett Favre. Then they draft Jordan Love. You ain't ready yet, kid. Just watch this kid. And then his last year, the whole thing, but they drafted him and this and that. They did the same shit to fucking Brett Favre that did to Aaron Rodgers to fucking Love. They know what they're doing.
But that's like an old school way of doing it. Drafting the guy, letting him sit, watch, learn.
No, but Randy, let me ask you, if you're a business owner, wouldn't you want to hire within instead of this fucking guy from the outside that you don't even know?
I think they do it better than anybody else. I'm just saying, like, that used to be the way. That used to kind of be the way that everybody – this fucking first-year starter rookie thing is a relatively new phenomenon in the NFL.
And
Bum, you're from the old school. Back me up.
Yeah, no, that it used to always be, you had your guy that was waiting in the wings. He'd sit behind with the clipboard, learning from the, the
You'd have
veteran.
your Steve McNair sitting back there for a few years.
Yeah.
There's probably countless examples of that guy was
And
learning.
and if he wasn't gonna replace the starter, he was always good enough to at least play when that starter was hurt and win games at minimum. If he wasn't the guy that was going to replace the starter, he could at least fill in for him.
It's
Now
probably
you
why we
don't
have so
even
much
get
turnover.
that so much.
Yeah, it's probably why we have so much turnover in the position nowadays, because they throw the guys out there right away and then they make like a quick decision, and then
but let me ask you though, as someone that's a little younger than you guys, what changed that expectation? Because all of a sudden it became
The win now.
No, but
money.
was it? Thank
And
you.
that too.
That's what. But they've changed that, because remember, Sam Bradford came in, was the highest paid fucking quarterback we ever seen in our lives as a rookie, and then they changed the rookie scale for that. But they still emphasize now. It could be the expectations of a quarterback at the rookie position, because what GOAT says, you only go as far as your quarterback goes. So therefore, the expectation for your quarterback's more than everybody else. Like what's changed that narrative? Like, to me, like, that's the thing, I guess, as a 35-year-old man watching football, I don't understand what changed, because when I first started watching football, that's what it was. That's what I saw. And now we're in this like, yo, win now, draft one. If that one doesn't win now, he's cut, release, we go get the next one. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, definitely. That's where it's gone to.
It may have changed right around that time that you said. But these guys are doing it the fucking old school way, and it's working for them, because obviously.
Yes, it is.
Dude.
I don't know who else.
And
like
you could say San Francisco sort of did that.
Yeah, because you know what? To Bum's point, yeah, they drafted Trey Lance, right, to be a project, and during that, they realized he wasn't the guy. That's why they got rid of him, and Purdy's in there stepping up. Maybe it wasn't a success story with Trey Lance, but
they're certainly the only ones to do it back-to-back Hall of Fame, other than the Packers with Montana and Young, if we want to go way back.
And then after Young was who? Garcia?
Yeah, solid. Not obviously Hall of Fame caliber.
And then after Garcia was who?
Maybe Alex. I don't know if there was somebody before Alex Smith.
I think there was one more person before Alex Smith.
Yeah, there may have
and
been.
Alex Smith wasn't bad.
No, sort of like ultimate game manager.
No, but you know what? I feel like game manager has that bad label on it.
He was just so damn conservative, dude. Like, I would see that guy, when they offsides, they throw a flag, you got a free play. He would throw like a 5-yard out, Everybody else was fucking throwing a bomb, He was
okay. That's a fair point.
Like,
I guess I didn't see that. So
yeah, I saw him do that a lot. I'm like, dude, it's a free play, dude.
Fucking even if no one's down there, just fucking throw it.
Take the fucking 5-yard out on the.
All right, that's fair. I didn't see that, so that's a fair point.
But I commend him. He came back from that gruesome injury. He had a fucking MVP caliber season that when Mahomes was waiting in the wings,
dude. And then
good career.
Now, did Andy Reid kind of do that? He knew he had the veteran with Alex Smith, drafted Mahomes, let him sit behind it and bring it in, and now he just knows he's got one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. So he's like, "Yo, ride him with this motherfucker."
That was another great thing. They were making the playoffs almost every year. I think with Alex Smith, he had made the playoffs with the Niners too, and then Kaepernick replaced him. And
went to the Super Bowl
run.
Yeah.
But he was always kind of taking his teams deep into the playoffs, and they still went and drafted a quarterback. And
how long has Reid been with KC already?
Dude, it's been a minute now.
I believe he has about as many wins with them as he did with Philadelphia at this point.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you know what? One of the greatest offensive minds and head coaches of all time. And I know a lot of people were saying he wasn't the guy because what happened in Philly, but man, since he's been with Kansas City and he realized I guess he realized what he had with Mahomes, which he had with McNabb, but just fully capitalized. You know what I mean? Because I feel like McNabb was kind of like the quarterback of the future, in a sense. Could throw, run, scramble. You know what I'm saying? Like he was like maybe because Reed had McNabb at that time when the NFL wasn't there yet. That's why he's so successful with Mahomes. Never thought of that.
Andy Reid with the Chiefs is 128-51.
Shit.
And with the Eagles, he had 130 wins. So he's won
2 less games with the
two
Chiefs.
less with the Chiefs.
And when he goes to the Super Bowl, he'll match that. That's
Yeah,
what I'm hoping.
dude, he lost, a lot of those NFC Championship games and the Super Bowl.
But he got there. He got there, right?
Get me to those fucking games. You know what I mean?
Right.
Fuck it.
How many consecutive NFC championships did he get?
Dude, I think it was like 4 or 5. Yeah, it was like 4 or 5, dude.
And the knock was, he would lose them all, and then I think they only got to the one Super Bowl. But fuck, I'll take it.
Dude. Bro,
Bills lost 4 Super Bowls. Fucking I'll play in 4 fucking Super Bowls, dude. Maybe I'll win one.
Kind of the argument I was making for Tua, not that I think, he's the guy, but you can't get over that hump unless you're in those games, right? And Andy Reid, perfect example of that. He's been in how many of those games, lost them, but then when he was in the right situation with the right team, he was able to get over the hump. So, like, you got to be in those situations to even overcome them,
Dude, Philadelphia's moved on from some pretty fucking good coaches.
Do you think they fired Sirianni? Now we bring them up? I hate that guy.
It seems like that Doug Peterson situation all over again, except Doug Peterson actually won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
This guy just played in one. But fuck, man. I don't know why they fucking made Matt Patricia the defensive coordinator. I don't know how that guy keeps getting jobs.
Well, I think it happened after they got killed by the 49ers and they felt they had to make a move.
Yeah, I think they got worse, obviously.
Yeah. No, they did.
I'm pretty sure that's when they came out and said, like, yo, we just gave you all the blueprint. It wasn't that a game? Like, yeah, we gave you the blueprint to fucking stop them.
That was a fucking pretty epic Dolphin-esque collapse that they
that actually the Eagles collapse might have been worse than the Dolphins.
Yes,
because they were fucking 11-1, dude.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
And they're, defending NFC championship.
No, I thought those guys were fucking punching their ticket to the Super Bowl. Or at least to the NFC Championship versus the fucking Niners.
Or let's just say at least just winning the fucking first playoff game, right? Like, shit.
That NFC East is fucking fake as fuck, dude. It looks like.
Oh, yeah. But it's always been like that, I feel like. And look at all the fucking teams in the fandom from that fucking. And you know what? We're the same fucking thing, right? As the AFC East. So, I don't know.
Atlanta, Belichick. Who else is in that division?
Tampa Bay, the Saints,
and Carolina.
Yeah,
it seems like he's taking one off Brady and saying, "What's the path of least resistance here?" Okay, this pretty shitty division that I could probably, find a way to fucking.
I will say, Atlanta has some pretty good pieces to build around, except the quarterback.
Young pieces, and a lot of people are saying that's why he wants to go there.
But he's bringing a quarterback, right?
Or he's going to draft one. They're saying he's going to have GM power. That's his thing. He wants to be able to go. He wants to go shopping for the groceries to make the dinner, so to speak.
And I got to tell you, him being GM is probably his undoing in New England.
Correct.
Because
look at what he's drafted.
Is he bringing his whole family with him too?
Probably, except for Mayo because he stayed. They already, made him head coach.
But he's bringing like his sons probably.
Oh,
and his daughter.
Maybe his daughter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A special teams coach. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like if I was Bill, I would have just accepted some sort of GM role with the Patriots. I feel like that would have
He
been
wants that win record, dude. You know that son of a bitch.
Yeah, I know he does. And you
fucking-
know what, bro? I feel like selfish. We should have just fucking like, you know what? Fuck you, McDaniel. We'll take you because if anyone's gonna beat our fucking record, at least if he does it, he's a Dolphin. How about that?
Well, then just bring Brady with him too.
Oh man,
Yeah.
imagine that shot,
Dude.
If they
And
paired
then you know
McDaniel
what?
with
Maybe we
Belichick.
go to a Super Bowl. Maybe we go to a you know what, Bum? I'm starting to think about what
It
you were
would
saying
feel
about those three vets.
so
You're
fucking
making a
dirty.
lot of sense now, man.
It
And
would
then
feel so dirty.
Bro, but you know what? There would be, but you know what, bro? If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying to win. So let's fucking bring it. You
And
know,
they're good. They're good at that. Mom, what's this Sports Illustrated thing you told me about?
dude. If that means Omar's gone, does that mean that Poupart's gone too?
On what?
I thought they were with Sports Illustrated. Poupart, Omar Kelly. I don't know. If you, Alan Pope, like
I think now I know what you. Yeah,
Omar
maybe.
has this
No.
thing, his hand in a lot of things, though, right? He's not,
well, no, the whole I am athlete thing went under like fucking Brandon Marshall tried to screw him with that. So that's why he left I am athlete. And then he started to do QAM and Big O stuff. Big O has this thing where he's only exclusive with anyone that comes onto his show. But then what happened with Omar is 560 offered him like a morning gig with Joe Rose, and then he also got some other gig with 560. So that's why he's no longer on Big O's show. And then
that's a relatively new thing, the 560 thing for Omar.
The beginning of the Dolphins season, yes, it was.
I didn't realize that Omar's with Joe in the morning.
Yeah, I heard a guy. I heard a guy, and I was like, "Who is this guy?" And then eventually, I realized it was him. I was like, "Oh,
yeah, it was Omar." Yeah, it was. Yeah, so
Joe used to argue with Omar and didn't really care for his opinions many a times.
Yeah, but come on, bro. That's what makes sports talk. Could, like me and Randy talk about this all the time. We might fucking disagree about it, but that's what makes it like. Why talk with somebody that disagrees with you, right? Let's have debate. Let's have argument.
And Omar is a Tua guy.
No, he is flip flopped. Okay?
Yeah,
he was a Tua guy. Then he with Flores wasn't a Tua guy. Now with McDaniel, he's a bro. I'll say this: Omar, I love him, but he's there for the clicks.
Joe Rose is not a Tua guy.
I think he was, and I think he's turned.
Joe
Rose. I think he was, and he's turned.
I think he turned when they were winning, but I heard his show after the Kansas City game, and you know he has questions. He has the same questions we do.
You know what? I was surprised when I heard a show recently with Omar and Rose, and they were joking around. But sometimes when you're joking around, the truth comes out about certain things. And I don't know who said, maybe the producer said something about like, oh,
Hollywood.
Dude. Yeah, it might have been him.
Because I was in Hollywood. Yeah, he's still there. Like when I was interning at 560, that was Joe Rose's guy.
What happened? I'm sorry. What happened to Krantz?
I think they let him go. Bro,
wow.
I'll say this: 560 is not in the best place because of their ownership. Like they may be off the air in the next year or two.
You're kidding?
Because bro, radio is not the future. It's this podcasting, the YouTube, the streaming. For instance, what Big O is doing, others. Now, Tobin and Leroy, like Tobin understands that. That's why, like last year and a couple of years, if you 560 streams Tobin's thing live because Tobin knows this is where Tobin could leave 560 and make way more money just streaming on YouTube because people will follow him. He'll get the advertising money. People will still, pay for advertisement on his show on top of whatever YouTube is giving you. So radio's dying, man, in that regard. And
sure.
I'll say this, like 560 is not in the greatest place, so a lot of things are changing, and I think Clearwater, who owns them, is like they filed for bankruptcy not too long ago.
Clearwater or Clear Channel?
Clear Channel, sorry,
Okay,
Clearwater.
yeah.
I'm thinking Clearwater fucking music.
Yeah.
Sorry, which
Dude,
you should know what that is.
But I was
right?
telling you that I was surprised. They joked around and they said, "Dude, I don't think Tua knows who Joe Rose is," and I was like, "Are you fucking serious, dude?"
Oh, absolutely, he doesn't know who he is. I would absolutely agree with that.
That's crazy, dude. That the starting quarterback of your team doesn't know who, like, a fucking
Bro,
staple of the fucking team on radio,
bro, but
player that's in the stadium.
Radio is not that big anymore, bro.
But
Like
that guy's in the stadium.
Randy, when I told you the other day, and we were talking about Levitard, and I get it, like Levitard, but I was in high school when 790 started, and Levitard and Stu got started. So when I would listen to 560, yeah, but there was like the older guys. I'm like 16, 17. I'm hearing this younger, more hip channel. So I feel like I've grown up.
You used to just rag on him all the time.
Bro, people, that is not even a thing now. Well, like,
yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's all about, especially in the Dolphins world. I don't know, but you guys know Dudley Do, right?
Yeah.
He's a big, yeah. And then the other one that I know a lot of people love or hate him. He's very polarizing, but TD Phins Talk.
Mm-hmm.
He's the other guy that,
Is he the chubby guy?
The black dude.
Oh, no, wait a second. That's another guy. The one
you know who I like? Kyle Krabs.
Okay, see, I don't even know who he is. But
he's not a I mean, they have him on the radio as a guest. He's not a radio guy, but that guy breaks down like Dolphin stuff, like right down to this guy can't play against left-handed players.
He's a Dolphins, just Dolphins guy. This guy.
I hear him specializing obviously in breaking down the Dolphin games, players. I mean, he knows salary cap, he knows positional stuff. I mean, super detailed, right? Really smart guy.
He's probably on a podcast or has a YouTube channel, and that's what he does. Yeah.
I've heard him on the radio. Joe Rose will bring him in, but I think he does have a podcast.
You guys like Hawkman?
Not really.
Because I was an intern when they just brought Hawk in, and so I know, like, Hawk is a good dude. I think it's kind of like Levitard. Hawk is not trying, and remember, Hawk was Levitard's producer at the beginning, so people don't know that.
I don't like him.
Hawkman was Levitard. It's not about sports; it's fucking entertainment, and I think that's why I like those guys. So I like Hawk in the sense of entertainment. In regards to sports, not so much. I think his sports takes are fucking terrible.
Crowder, you talk a lot about the Sopranos and shit.
Yeah, Crowder, I love, and I was an intern on the Coop and Crowder show.
Crowder's kind of funny.
Bro, when it was Adam Cooperstein of NBC6 News, I don't know if you remember him.
I do.
And then whatever reason at that time, he could be on 560, and then something changed and he couldn't do that anymore because of NBC. But it used to be the Coop and Crowder show. This was when I was an intern for Big O.
Yeah.
They would ask me to stay because they were the show after, and I got to hang out with those guys. Yo, Crowder is one of the coolest fucking dudes. If he saw me today, he knows my real name, but he called me Nathaniel. He like, oh, you're like every other white kid, Nathaniel. Like, that's what, you know what I'm saying? Like, he knows my name is Chad, but I'm Nathaniel, for the fucking show and for the gimmick. I'm like, yo, Crowder is just the fucking man, bro. He is mad cool. Every time he goes, Chad, what's up, brother? Nathaniel.
Do you have any run-ins with the captain? Captain Curtis?
Oh, dude, yeah, bro. He was on with Joe Rose in the morning at the time.
Yeah, that was like his protege.
Yeah.
Actually, it's the Mad Dog.
The Mad Dog. You're right. The Mad Dog. I'm sorry.
And hold on. My dad's name is Curtis. So I was put on Captain Curtis as a kid because my dad was like, yo, this guy's name is Curtis. You know what I'm saying? He fucking loved Captain Curtis. I had interactions with him. Really great and really cool dude. It just sucks what happened to him at the end of 560 because it spiraled him down a bad path from what I know.
Went off the rails, right?
Correct. But because that was
what happened to him.
He just pretty much, I guess, I mean, he probably was already an addict before then, but like it just went to a whole nother level, and then gambling,
A
and
gambling guy.
yeah, and then
Overall degenerate.
bro, you know who's the biggest fucking culprit of gambling on 560? I'm just gonna say it. And I saw him too, and I knew him personally. Sid fucking Rosenberg, yo.
Oh, that
Oh,
guy's
yeah.
Dude,
degenerate.
that guy got in a lot of trouble over there, bro. He was giving fucking advertisements to fucking gambling companies he owed debts to that
Oh,
wasn't fucking authorized, bro. And the first time I ever met Sid, all coked up. That guy coked up and steroid up to the fucking fullest, bro.
Never really
But-
enjoyed his shows that much.
and never enjoyed his takes. But I had some good times with him because of some of my friends that used to work on his show. So
By the way,
a lot of
that
guys there that I either liked, or a lot of guys that like Hank Goldberg. I could do without him. To be honest, I knew he was super knowledgeable and
Yeah.
big on the gambling, but like just the way he ran his show. Yeah, I don't know if you ever that was
Dude,
before your time. Or
no,
you ever-
no. I used to listen to Hank Goldberg every fucking day with my dad, but I was younger, and this is when my brother was taking guitar lessons, so we would have to go drop him off at guitar lessons. It was Hank Goldberg on the way there. Hank Goldberg as we wait. It's time to say sayonara. Wasn't that his outro or some shit, bro? I heard so much Hank Goldberg, but I was too young to, I guess, appreciate sports radio. And I think
Yeah.
because of my dad listening to Hank Goldberg, fucking Neil Rogers, Mad Dog, that it sparked my love for sports talk radio. So like when I was in high school, that's what I listened to. And then when I was in college, I was interning at 560. So I was like, yo, this is fucking crazy.
How
Like,
did you get that gig? You just signed up for it? Were you
No.
studying journalism or something?
so at the time I was at Miami-Dade College. I was studying creative production, music engineering. So I was in a music engineering class, and I was at the end of my degree, and I had to get I had to get an internship for my credits. So they pretty much left it up to you to find your internship, and they would approve it or not. So even though it wasn't necessarily music, but because it was like
Sound engineering.
correct, they approved it. Like, so what happened was one of my friends who I worked with at Starbucks, his sister worked for 560. Her name was Caroline, and she was one of the producers on the Big O show. So they needed interns. I was like, hey, I needed this, internship for my fucking degree. He's like, yo, I'm gonna talk to my sister. Like, I know how much you love sports because we would talk it every day, and she got me the gig, with them. And then I just, being myself, kind of just network, talk to other people, and then even being an intern with Big O, he hit me up a few months ago to work on his intro song. Like, yo, can you redo this for me? You know what I'm saying? So I just managed to kind of like sneak my way in, make a name for myself. I tried to get a job with them, through my internship, and because I applied for a position, but I didn't get it. They went with someone that had the actual experience compared to internship experience, so I didn't get to like live that out. But I think at the same time, it was a good thing because look where sports radio is now. I probably wouldn't have been making much money. So
That's cool though. That's a cool experience. But
Yeah.
my favorite people on the air were probably, I loved fucking the Mad Dog. I loved listening to him call games too. But his shows were always
Oh yeah,
because he was like a fun guy, and he wasn't like a sports geek. He would straight up tell you, I don't know anything about that, if he didn't know it. He wouldn't try to fake it too much, but he was always fucking charismatic and funny, and he had great stories. You got to have good stories, and his shit was probably more like a podcast. He would talk a lot of shit, and he would fucking tell it like it fucking was,
yeah.
dude.
But I grew up on that.
He would
as
fucking
like
say they sucked,
yeah, I was like 8 or 9 listening to that.
that guy was fucking.
Yeah.
I always liked
I
Joe Rose.
grew up on that shit.
To
Yeah.
this day, I still like fucking Joe Rose.
See, Joe was hit or miss with me. I feel like Joe right now, I guess because I'm a little young, he just sounds like an old man.
He's
and
like
like-
an Al Michaels to me of fucking.
Yeah.
He is.
He's an older.
He is an old man.
But
Yeah.
his
He
whole
said
stick,
He
I
said
don't
it the
know.
other day where he's closer to 70 than anything. But yeah, one of my first jobs, I was a computer technician, and I had to drive from basically, Homestead all the way to Tampa or in Orlando. That was my area. And back then, the only company you had was either, your tape player or the radio. And I heard all of those guys. I heard Rick and Suds,
They're
Neil Rogers, just all of those people. That's kind of how I was driving around listening to that, and it was the height of that too.
You know who I used
like
to
you
like?
said, radio's dying.
You guys may not have heard. I know you've heard of him, Bum, but I don't know. Maybe Chad, maybe you haven't heard too much about this guy. He was their late night guy, big baseball guy, Eddie Kaplan.
Oh yeah.
You
No,
ever
see,
heard of that guy?
nah, but the baseball guy I know is Warren Cromartie.
Oh, the
Talking with the
Crow.
Crow,
Oh, yeah.
baby. That's what talking with the Crow. That's the guy I grew up on.
Talking hardball.
Talking
Eddie Kaplan
hardball
was
with the
like
Crow,
a
baby.
New Yorker gambler.
Yes.
He
died, right?
Huh? Yeah, he passed away. And his thing
Yeah.
was he would stay on the air until the last fucking score.
Yes.
So he wouldn't go off the air until the last score came in, and he was always with the gambling. And that the way he got his start was pretty fucking cool because he used to be a lawyer, I believe, and he started buying his time on the air first.
Dude, that's badass.
Yeah, and then like eventually his show took off.
Yo, real quick, just cheers and shout out to Tank because he would have no fucking idea what we are talking about right now. Okay.
He's gonna be moving up to your area, bro. Probably like Cocoa Beach, not your area, but
that's close. Yeah, it's still kind of close. It's closer than going down there, you know. So, dude,
do you guys remember?
So expensive down there. Sorry,
it is.
I could, bro. I can't even believe I got the house that I got for the price I got it at the time. I just can't wait for the fucking interest rates to drop so I could refinance and save, at least $500. You know.
Yeah.
So, but
who were you gonna say, Bum?
I was gonna. Do you guys remember Neil Rogers, producer?
George,
bro. Believe it or not, George. But you know who else?
Did he pass away?
He became famous, so to speak, or popular when Neil Rogers passed away. But then I think he did die.
Yeah, and
he took over the show for a little bit.
Isn't Hank a Neil Rogers guy?
He passed away too.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
Okay, and now I don't know if you know
No, they used to hate each other.
Yeah.
Okay, but wasn't that okay? They hated each other.
Or was a stick.
Yeah, I think it was a shtick.
Like they would piss each other off. Like one would go over into the other guy's time, and
You ready for this though, Goat? You know who was Hank Goldberg's producer?
If you mention it, I might, but not off the top of my head.
Stu Gatz.
Stu Gatz.
Yeah, Stu Gatz was his producer, and that's how he got the idea he wanted to start his own radio station. Stu Gatz is the original owner of 790 The Ticket, and he's the one he's the one that convinced Dan to like, yo, come do my thing. And Dan talks about his original stick was supposed to be with Greg Cody, but Cody at the time had young kids, so he didn't want to be the dumb guy.
I do like Greg Cody.
But Greg Cody's old. I like his son, Chris Cody, who I've met, who's a really cool dude, by the way.
Who was the other Miami Herald old guy? I think he might have passed away.
Edwin Rubens or something.
Maybe, some Rubin. So is Hank Goldberg the guy who named him Stu Gatz?
By the way,
Hank Goldberg is the guy that named him Stu Gatz. Absolutely right.
All right.
Yep,
Cody wrote something recently that the Dolphins should, take care of Tua. So
bro, get the.
I don't think I like him that much anymore.
Bro, I've heard Cody every week on. I listen to it, bro. I can't even believe I'm saying this. So my son, like, I know we're not in the radio area, but he listens every day. He knows who Big O is and sees him on the TV. He knows Le Batard. If he hears Le Batard, he's like, "Why we gotta listen to Le Batard?" like he. And then I go, "What do you want to listen to?" He goes, "I want to listen to Cody." For whatever reason, he wants to listen to the Greg Cody podcast, which is like the worst out of all of them for me. I'm like, all right, bro, I got you.
I didn't know he had a podcast. I know he's on the Dan Le Batard show sometimes, right?
No, but the Greg Cody podcast with Greg Cody is what it's called. It's produced by his son Chris Cody, who's
He didn't really fucking think too much about the name, right? He was
no,
just,
I think that's part of the shtick, and it's just
okay.
Really every week it's just Chris Cody making fun of Greg Cody being old and not being able to do shit. But it's fun, and they have their sports takes and stuff like that. But for whatever reason, my son loves fucking the Cody podcast. I'm like, what the fuck? Out of all the podcasts,
I'm gonna have to listen to that one day.
bro. One of my
Do you know where Hank Goldberg started the whole radio thing? Hank
Horse
Goldberg, when I started to listen to the
640.
Dolphins, it was on WIOD.
He was calling the games.
He was the color commentator for the Miami Dolphins on the radio. So it was Rick Weaver and Hank Goldberg doing the radio for the Dolphins when I first started to listen to the Dolphins in the 80s.
Oh, wow.
Late 70s, early 80s.
Damn.
And the sideline reporter was the Mad Dog.
Later
his
called the
thing.
game.
Yeah.
And
then later he called the game. Yeah.
Bro, I mean, I grew up as a kid. It was Joe Rose and Mad Dog calling fucking games, man. Like, that's what I hear.
Dude, how long are they going to keep rolling Jimmy Cephalo out there?
Hold on. Before we get off the Mad Dog, when anyone says Mad Dog Chris fucking get the fuck out of here. There's only one Mad Dog, and his name is Jim fucking Mandage. Because one of my homies like, yo, you don't listen to Mad Dog? I'm like, Mad Dog's been dead for years. What are you talking about? He's like, oh, you don't listen to Chris Russo? I'm like, he's not the fucking Mad Dog. Get the fuck out of here.
Throwing back some green lizards.
Yeah.
Yep.
Rest in peace, Mad Dog.
So what is it with Sports Illustrated, Bum? What's going on? I didn't look into that.
You're firing everybody. That's what I read.
Yeah, they're laying everybody off. So they're talking that the magazine may end within a year or two.
Well, it's probably
or go more into digital, I guess. But
I get a mailer from a guy named Dan Gartland every day. I don't know if you guys know who that guy is. He works for them. He puts out a pretty good mailer every day with just sports news and articles and shit. But that shit's not the same, dude. That's
bro. I mean, it's a sad time to see, I guess the Sports Illustrated magazine not be available physical. But to your point, Bum, if they're going more digital with the new, you're saving trees, you're being more cost efficient without having to print and put stuff out that probably people aren't buying physically anymore. They're probably, if they want to read it, they're going to subscribe and pay, whatever, $5 or $6 a month for it. So, I feel like it would make more sense for them. I just don't see them. I mean, unless they're just getting rid of everybody and completely shut down.
Part of it is that they lost some type of major licensing deal too that fell through that I guess would have kind of supported having all those employees too. So
did they say what that licensing deal is?
I didn't read the whole thing.
Hey, by the way, on the coaching carousel, Bill O'Brien is leaving.
Yeah, Ohio State. He's going to Ohio State.
Going to Ohio State.
Yeah, forgot to mention that one. That was another.
Yeah, whatever. I don't think it's going to be.
And Mike McFaddy, they said he's staying at Dallas.
Yep.
That was kind of surprising. Jerry Glanville was hired as a defensive coordinator. 82-year-old Jerry Glanville. You know who Jerry Glanville is, Chad?
Sounds very fucking familiar. What team did he fucking?
He coached the Falcons.
Okay, that's what it was. Yeah,
and the Oilers, right? Too. He was on the Oilers as a coordinator.
Originally,
so I remember with the Falcons.
The Oilers.
Yeah, I think he might have worn a cowboy hat at times, right? Or
that's Bum Phillips.
That's Bum Phillips. All right. Which Vrabel did a pretty funny thing when they wore the throwbacks. He wore the fucking hat. I don't know if you remember that this year,
bro. But should they have worn those throwbacks, or should have Houston worn those throwbacks? I understand that the Oilers went to Tennessee and then became the Titans, but That didn't feel right to me. I'll be honest, because Houston has a team.
I know, but this team has that lineage, I guess, is the fucking thing. There's fucking sick throwbacks though.
One
Yeah, I
of the best
like
throwbacks, 100%. But I just feel like Houston should be given that. And you know what? Maybe that's why fucking Tennessee sucks, and payback's a bitch and karma's a bitch, and that's why Houston's in the fucking playoffs.
Do you remember what Jerry Glanville was famous for doing?
Bro,
everywhere he went.
I would say it sounds so. I guess I remember him from the Falcons. It sounds fucking mad familiar.
He would famously leave tickets for Elvis at every stadium.
Yes, that's what it is. Yep, I've heard that story. Yep.
Yeah, and he would also have Brett Favre throw the ball as far as he could to impress other people, but he never played him, like in pregame and shit. He was the first guy to have Brett Favre, but never really used him.
Put him on show, but just was like, hey, come to our games. You might see this. Yeah, we got your money, so he's not going out.
Dude, Amazon Prime, they're going to be streaming Marlins games beginning this season after Amazon brought a minority stake in Valley Sports. Also, the Heat and Panther games are likely going to be coming to Prime soon.
Thank God that my brother and my mom have Prime, so I don't have to pay for that.
Yeah, I mean, I pay for it because the fucking Thursday night games already, so that'll be good. I don't have to fucking pay Bally's if they fucking do this shit.
We're heading in that direction, huh?
Bro, we're in the next 3 years, we're gonna be paying for the Super Bowl, bro. They're gonna realize that they can make a ton of money making the Super Bowl pay-per-view, and that's what's gonna happen, bro. Let's just be and I can say this, Brandy, and and Goat and Bum. I'm telling you this: for the last 5 years, I've been paying for streaming services because of soccer, because of my fucking soccer team that I watch, or world football. I can't watch any of their games unless I have them. So I feel like I've already been immune to this, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is where we're going." I'm like, "Yep, that's just they're taking the soccer model and applying it to what they're doing now because they realize how much money they can make."
Yeah, we talked about it last episode where it looks like it's trending. They got some new people for the halftime show talking about the Super Bowl, right? Halftime performance. Did you guys hear about this?
Who?
Usher, right?
I'm trying to look it up right now.
Isn't it Usher?
Usher's all right.
Who's performing at the halftime show? Reba McEntire and Usher.
Wow, that covers the full spectrum there. Country music and R&B.
With the younger crowd, even though it's not, Usher's a little older, but he could still like relate to that younger generation, right?
Yeah. Post Malone.
Oh, there you go. There's the other one.
Yep.
That's the younger generation for sure. I feel like the halftime show has lost its luster in a sense.
Yeah.
Because they've tried to go too safe.
I don't even think it has to do with safe. I think it just has to do with what you're seeing right now. It's like, okay, we gotta, just like in today's world, we gotta make sure everyone's covered. Everyone's, everyone feels included instead of just having one fucking person put on a fucking show. Doesn't matter if you're a part, if you like his music or not. You know what I'm saying? It's just like everyone's gotta be included, right? Yeah, like every fucking Marvel movie, everything in Star Wars now. It's like, all right. We gotta have another gay character. We gotta have another trans character. We gotta have or whatever the case may be. It's like, why can't we just have what we have?
Yeah, you gotta be like 10 years into your career to be in the Super Bowl. They're not gonna.
No, for sure. Which, for instance, Post Malone has been around for a while. I don't mind that. My problem is choose one. We don't need all three. You know what I'm saying? Or give me one like they've done in the past, and they bring on like a surprise person to play a couple songs or whatever, and then like come off. I don't need like, all right, we got Reba, we got fucking Post Malone and Usher. So we know we're getting like this 20 or 30 minute segment. So we're going to get like, I don't know. I feel like in the past, the It just with one person, it's more of a show, which or a spectacle. It's not really a spectacle now. It's just like, all right, we got to make sure everyone feels like they're included because we all know.
They probably would have gone with just one if they could have got Taylor Swift.
You think so?
They probably would have just let her roll. Her and Kelsey.
You don't think Usher was enough? Like, let's just say, because that was the first one that was announced, right?
Yeah.
So
He could have done it, yeah.
Bro, and I'm younger. As someone that's like, I grew up with Usher, he could have absolutely done the whole show by himself. Now, am I mad they're going to bring Reba on? No, because I get it. They're trying to, you know what I'm saying? But like, all right, now we're going to throw Post Malone on. Okay. So now it just seems like they're trying to cater for every audience they're trying to target. Which
that guy's a fucking musician, though. He could have probably done it alone, too.
100%. Or even Reba could have done it alone. I'm not even even though I'm not a fan of country and what Reba does, but I feel like she probably could have done it alone and it would have probably been good enough. Like my mom and my aunts
might have had a lot of the younger crowds like tuning out. You
laugh, Bum, but it's true. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They'll end up having some awkward medley towards the end.
And that's the worst part. That's the worst part, right? Am I lying? Like
they'll have Reba trying to do like hip hop and Usher country.
They're all gonna be singing White Iverson, bro. Like with Post Malone. Like that's what's gonna happen.
I liked the J-Lo fucking Shakira one, but that was a point of contention for J-Lo. She was like, fuck, I could have done, I want to do this shit by myself. I don't want to share the fucking...
But you know what? It was only 1 and 2, but it made sense with the genre of music and, and also, too, they were kind of like during the same... Yeah.
And the ass off.
Well, but during the same time in regards of their prime, right? We're talking about 3 different generations. Reba, Usher, Post Malone. That's all I'm saying. Like you can exactly. At least with Shakira and fucking J-Lo, you're like, it's kind of around the time, late 90s, early 2000s. They were both kind of in their prime. Both look great for their age. Cool, let's bring it. But this just seems like a fucking reach, bro. Like honestly, what it feels like, and I don't want to hate because I love both of them. But it felt like when it was like Chili Peppers and Bruno Mars. Wasn't it that? No? Am I wrong? Wasn't it that Super Bowl?
There was
I remember Bruno Mars was in the
no, wasn't
Seahawks Patriots one.
Or was
I think it was
like
Chili
Bruno
Peppers.
Mars and
Chili Peppers.
Bruno Mars and No Doubt or something.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I love both of these, but I don't know if they should be doing this together.
Hey, you guys,
and then the awkward medley.
Yeah, I have to have it. Shit. All right.
This is one of the last things I had non-football. You guys into the mafia at all? Anything like that?
I mean,
I always like the mafia.
Bro, yeah. Movies. I mean, I love the documentaries, love the movies. I mean, I love The Sopranos.
I just started watching that.
Dude, are you just started watching that?
I just started watching.
Dude, Brandon, you are fucking late, bro.
I know, but it's
really,
good.
Dude. You don't have to. Some gabagool, okay? I need some gabagool right now, bro. Wait,
What's a fanuc?
Dude, you just started watching The Sopranos?
I just started watching it, and I love that genre. I just got into
it. Dude, it only gets better.
Yeah, it's really good. I just got through the first season, started the second one.
It only gets better.
So, Godfather, are you into The Godfather?
Yes. 1 and 2. 3,
yeah. 3 gets a lot of shit. It's not terrible.
But true Italians feel like 3 is the best for whatever reason. I don't know why. I don't know if you guys know that.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, some true Italians feel like 3 is like kind of, I don't know,
underrated.
I've heard them say it's underrated, but
okay, maybe underrated. That's what.
Yeah,
not really up, but it's hard to fucking follow up 1 and 2.
But then you know what? It's at the same time, I feel like it's like Back to the Future 1 and 2. 3, not the greatest, but 3 is not that terrible in Back to the Future. You know what I'm saying? So I guess I could hear that.
I mean, if I'll do a marathon on them, and every once in a while, I'll still fucking watch 3. I won't not watch it, but it's the one I've watched least. But anyways, here's the little tidbit. No one's family's name was changed at Ellis Island. The popular belief that immigrants' names were altered, shortened, or misheard by bungling authorities at Ellis Island is a complete myth. According to thorough debunking by professors Rosemary Messaros and Catherine Penavaria, that was spotted by Marginal Revolution. I don't even know what that means. In fact, no names were written down at Ellis Island. The people coming to the U.S. were required to provide their contact information when buying tickets for the journey, so their names were already recorded in the ship's manifest. Families may have changed their names after settling in the new country.
Yeah,
So-
but they would change their names, I think, for like new identities, if I'm not mistaken.
Or to maybe Americanize their names a little bit too.
Yeah, I thought
but-
that's what it was.
But even at that time, see, I don't know. So my
But his name was
grandmother,
misheard in the movie in The Godfather too, because I think they confused the
Yeah,
place
but that
he
could
was
be-
from.
yeah, but that could be like, what, Hollywood, right? That could be just, for the story. But to that point, I'm trying to because my great grandmother came from Ellis Island, from like Ireland, because my grandmother, who's a Duffy and married into a Rao, which is German. But I'm pretty sure, like, to your point, it was that, from what I know from my grandmother. Like, it was like, yeah, maybe some people might have changed their names, but I don't think it was anything like when you came in, like, say your name. Like, I'm pretty sure they had to, like, have already come with something showing who they were. You know what I mean?
Right.
You
In
would
the
hope.
movie, he comes alone as a kid. Is that how it works?
Yeah, no, for sure. But I feel like that's that movie Hollywood aspect.
Of course.
But all the mafioso guys say that the movie is so fucking authentic, to the whole fucking the way shit was in the mafia and shit. They obviously they all love it. Like, I've been listening to you know who Sammy the Bull is? Sammy the
Yeah.
Bull Gravano.
Yeah.
He has a podcast, and they talked about the movie in the podcast, and he's like, yeah, it was so authentic. That guy's like the biggest rat, but he's still alive. His podcast is good because you get some insight, but like every story he tells,
Embellished, and he's a rat.
they're all embellished,
Yeah.
and they always end up with like somebody saying what a great guy he is, and how he helped somebody,
Bullshit.
and how, like, I killed that guy, but he had raped somebody the week before, or like everything is always kind of like makes him look like a good guy in the end. And then
Bro, I can tell you right now, that guy is full of shit. Because
he wouldn't be alive if he wasn't.
correct. And I know somebody, I guess, that you could say is like kind of associated. And they've come up to me privately and it's like, yo, if you ever need anything, let me, like, it's just like this unsaid thing. Like, you're not supposed to say anything. You let me know, but you don't tell nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Omerta.
Yeah. And this is, it's someone that's family to me, and like,
He's
I
a
guess
friend
you
of
could say-
ours.
correct. Like, married into it, you could say. But like, straight up came to me and was just like, hey, if you ever come across any trouble, when you come across that trouble, you call me and I'll take care of it for you. I
Forget
just feel
about
like
it.
anybody that say coming out like that, kind of a rat, kind of a snitch, or just trying to get out there and make money, they ain't true to it, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's like when he talks about it in the show, I'm like, this guy's talking about the honor and when the boss says do this, you do that. And I'm like, fuck, you didn't do any of that, dude. You were
Dude.
supposed to go to jail.
Yeah.
If you were
And just
really
say, and shut the fuck up and do what you had to do. Because then when you came out, you would have been taken care of and you would have been a made man. And that's why he's doing a podcast to get paid, because he ain't made.
well, what
Just
those
saying.
guys did was kind of shocking. They fucking killed the boss of the family. Him and Gotti killed the previous boss of like
Paul
Gambino.
Castellano.
Paul
Yeah.
Castellano, the Gambino boss, right? That was his family.
I believe so.
Yeah, they killed that guy in the front of a fucking steakhouse and just kind of like took over the fucking family. And well, shit went to shit because John Gotti was fucking. He did everything. He was fucking flashy. He was like,
Yes.
all the shit you weren't supposed to do. You were supposed to be low profile, and nobody was supposed to
Yeah.
know. Everybody knew who he was. That guy was just way too fucking flamboyant. And then
Yeah. They say by the time of the Gotti Mafia, it was like completely different.
Different.
than-
Yeah, man.
Yeah, than the
That's why
old
it's not
school.
true. Like I said, like it's like in said thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it ends here. You don't talk about it like so.
Well, they took a step back because at that time they were like legitimizing a lot of the fucking business and shit. Like that guy Sammy the Bull had a bunch of construction companies, and that Paul Castellano guy was a fucking super fucking wealthy. Like he had fucking a lot of mafia shit, but he had a lot of legit shit going on too. And they
He only had a lot of legit shit going on because whatever was coming from the mafia, the funnel the money to cover up whatever they were doing.
Yeah, he became like too white collar for a lot of those guys. Like, fuck, this guy's doing all this legitimate shit, and it's not leaving any room for us to make any money, and that's why they fucking took him out, and then it went to fucking shit. The cool guy from that era, I don't know if you guys ever heard of this guy, the Chin Gigante, Vincent the Chin. You ever heard of that guy? He's the one who used to walk around in the bathrobe and pretend he was crazy for like fucking 30 years. He was the Genovese crime family.
Okay, well, I know that family.
Look this guy up, Vincent the Chin Gigante. He was fucking. That was his whole thing. He pretended to be like mentally insane, and he would walk around in his bathrobe around fucking New York, and he would just plead insanity. But he was fucking running shit for fucking decades. I wonder what the fuck those guys do now if they fucking do anything with the fucking mafia now. It seems like hackers took over that whole fucking kind of mafia shit. It's all fucking digital now.
A lot of it is.
It's like a different fucking mafia now.
Well, I mean, everything is changed, bro. Everything's
Forget about it.
Yeah, forget about it.
All right,
Everything's
guys.
crypto,
That's all
bro.
I had.
Everything's
You guys
crypto
got anything
now, bro.
else?
We suck.
You want to get off your chests?
Fins up. Tua sucks. McDaniel sucks. I'm just gonna get ahead of the curve now. I feel like we're gonna be in the same shit next year.
We got it on record. Chad said Tua sucks.
Tua sucks. McDaniel sucks. I know. Honestly, I feel like we're gonna,
3-hour-17 mark.
if
After 4 years, we got him to say it.
If they can change my mind otherwise next year, I feel like we're destined to do the same thing. Because I just with the salary cap, I don't know what moves we can make to get to the next level. I think what moves we make will just keep us at where we're at.
There needs to be a stepping up from within. And if that doesn't happen, we're not going to improve. Like whoever stays that was there needs to step up in a big fucking way. Like in a big way.
Big.
Yeah, you know what?
Way.
Yeah.
Not a little bit. Not like like a major fucking change. There needs to be a major improvement in
And you know what?
coaching.
I hate to say this. What you're talking about there, Goat, is culture.
Mm-hmm.
The culture needs to change within somehow, because we
talk about it no more. Gotta
yeah,
do it.
yeah, absolutely right. Like the coaches come in and change, the quarterbacks come in and change, but guess what's the same? It's the culture, right? And this is kind of what you've been trying to tell me the last, 5 years in a sense. Yo, it's the same shit. The same Dolphins. They give us nothing to trust them, right?
There's different characters, but like the results is.
And it's the culture. They don't have that heat culture, as we like to say in Miami, right? Like, even though we might not have the best players in the league, we always feel like when the Heat go out there, they're going to fucking bust their ass to represent the city, represent the team, and represent, the organization. So
maybe a new owner will
I
change
think,
the culture.
I think, and you know what? I've said that in the past. I feel like, Ross is the problem. Like, he can spend all the money he wants in the world, but he's not spending the money on the right people, right?
Yeah, I don't think money is the problem. He's not broke. He's not willing to spend it, but
the people he listens to.
Yeah.
Look at I hate these fucking people, dude. But look at the type of moves that Robert Kraft is like willing to fucking make. to say, fuck, yes, you won me 6 Super Bowls, but like, I think the game, he obviously thinks the game has passed Belichick by, right? Otherwise,
And we're talking what, 2 or 3 years removed from Brady? Like, how long ago was Brady there?
yeah, just 3
You
years.
know, I mean,
That has to be something
or
that's
4 years ago. 4 years ago, but
that's
within
eating at
that
him
4
too,
years.
right? That he needs to show that he could do something outside of Brady. He hasn't been able to do it.
Belichick or
Thus far.
Kraft?
Both.
Belichick, but I guess both,
both,
but more
yeah.
Belichick. Yeah.
Yeah, those Patriots are gonna suck, dude. They're gonna continue to suck.
At least for another 2 or 3 years. If they're gonna, and you know what?
How long was Gerard Mayo's career?
At least 6 or 7 years, I think.
Yeah, it did seem like a long.
But you know what? People don't realize the average NFL career, I think, is like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
I think it's 4.
that counts guys who fucking bust out of the league too.
No. Which I understand, but at the same time, that's a testament to anyone that's able to stay in the league like 6 or 7 years. You know what I mean? Like you had to do something to be able to stay in the league for 5 years.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
What I was getting at is like, he seems very young. How old is he for a coach?
He's 37.
Okay,
Yeah.
not super young, but there's older players than him, probably.
But I
And
think
he's younger than Brady.
From 2008 to 2015.
7 years.
Yeah.
And I think he's one
He
of
was
those
playing
guys.
5 years ago.
Yeah, but I think he's one of those guys though, where he's, to your point, playing 5 years ago, he can still kind of relate to whoever is playing now and is like young enough to kind of, still be in with those people, because you got to be able to find. And I think that could be what's happening with Belichick. Like, think how old he is and how far removed he is from like these guys, and trying to be able to connect with them to get them to go battle and fight for him.
Yeah, he's one of those
Wow.
old school coaches.
I did not realize this. He was the 10th pick overall.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
of the
yeah.
Out of Florida
2008
or
draft.
where'd he come out of?
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Yeah. I remember that.
SEC.
Wow.
Yeah, but dude, that team's got nothing.
No.
Who's going to be the GM there?
Whoever's there now, no?
Well, it was Belichick.
It was
Oh,
Belichick.
right.
They gotta find. I gotta find a GM now.
But you know what? That means whoever comes in, they got to give him at least 3 years.
It's a total rebuild. They don't got nothing, dude. That team sucks.
You don't
What do
got
you mean,
none.
bro? Yeah, Mac Jones. Isn't that like, what they were saying? Mac Jones is so much better than Tua. And I'm not saying Tua's great, but just saying. Fuck.
That guy looks like he's been handled. I'm not going to get into who's better, but he looks like he's been handled wrong.
And you know what? At the same time, hasn't been given any weapons like Tua, so I can feel you on that, bum. And
that guy had a Matt Patricia as an offensive coordinator.
Dude, Matt Patricia, who is not even a fucking offensive guy. Let's just be real.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
But that's fucking your boy Belichick, who's about to go to Atlanta. All right.
Matt Patricia's fucking putting in his application already over there, probably.
Be what, the offensive coordinator? He wants to be offensive coordinator for sure.
He might be defensive and offensive coordinator.
Nah, bro. He's going to bring in Patricia as offensive coordinator, and he's going to bring back Flo. And he's going to just rebuild the fucking Patriots with Patricia and Flo in Atlanta. Because it seems like he's going to Atlanta, right? Like, that's what it seems like.
Feels like it.
Seems that way.
I think he interviewed for the second time. They just showed him here on ESPN, but they didn't say why they were showing him. I don't know.
Just to show him.
He'll be able to manipulate another old guy. Arthur Blank.
Yes, the same amount of
checks.
That's the same amount of championships he has. Blank.
I
mean, dude, Belichick's a big fucking catch though for a franchise like that. That's probably what He's like, fuck.
Well, especially
Dude, I
the
mean, I
franchise
can't
that's
disagree.
doing this.
And you know what? And Stu Gotts makes this point. He's like, is Belichick interviewing for jobs, or are teams being interviewed to Belichick? Like, if it feels like he would get to pick wherever he wants to go, right?
If you have a vacancy right now because you fired somebody that you didn't think was good enough, why wouldn't you?
Let me ask you this though: if I'm Belichick, I go into that second interview with the Falcons just to kind of like secure it, but like, okay, let me see what happens. But what if one of these teams in the playoffs loses and feels like, you know what,
We need to
Belichick could
take a
be the
step up.
guy,
He can get us over the hump.
and Belichick might just wait to see who fucking loses, and then gets fired and goes there.
What
And-
does Belichick do good at this point? What is
Oh,
his,
to me, nothing. But
Coach
to
defense.
others, I guess so. But the Patriots defense wasn't that good this year.
No, it was great against the run, definitely.
Okay,
I think they
against
didn't
the
give
run?
up. I don't think they had a 100-yard rusher till maybe against them, maybe the last few games, maybe.
Okay,
if
but
at
Bum,
all.
let me ask you this: what
they
type
got to
of
get
league,
something on the other side.
bro? What type of league
No,
are we
no,
playing in? It's a passing
I'm
league,
just
bro.
saying.
It's
Yeah,
a
that's
passing
wild.
league.
The
Doesn't
defense is good. They have the offense is complete crap. Complete crap.
But the defense
But the
struggled against the
defense is good.
pass.
dude, the Falcons with Belichick and a decent something better than what they have, they could win that division.
Bull, to your point, he's picking a division that's not hard to win. Tampa Bay just won with 9-8 record.
He's not gonna pick the hardest one. I know.
Yeah,
At this point,
they were 9-8, and they were 9-8. And
he's looking
won
at
that
what
division.
Brady did, and he's like, "This guy is not stupid. Came to this fucking crap division. Maybe I can do it too." Because if you go San Diego, which I don't know, they haven't interviewed him. That's not gonna be easy.
I think they want Harbaugh.
The Patriots were 7th in total defense.
But last in offense, probably.
Absolute, probably. By the way, the Dolphins were 10.
In total defense,
Yes.
yardage wise,
With all those injuries, Fangio. And you know what, Bum? Maybe you're right. He can still coach defense. If he's top 10 defense, you just got to find the right offensive coordinator if he can find that.
oh, Matt
And then-
Patricia.
Yeah.
And by the
but-
way, and the 11th ranked defense, the Falcons.
Interesting.
So he's got a decent defense. He's got a great running back, potentially great tight end, solid receiver. He needs a quarterback.
Let's see what their draft pick is.
Pretty high.
All right.
That number 8 pick. He can get a good quarterback.
Yes.
Yeah. Caleb Williams, if he's still there, or you think he's going 1 overall? I don't
might
think
be
he's
there.
that good. I don't think he's that good.
It's going to depend what the Bears do with Fields.
Trade him to us, please. I'll take him.
Yeah, that's
We
going to
got
be
picks. We let Wilkins go, get the compensatory pick. We can trade that. You know?
Falcons got the 8th overall, 43rd in the second round.
The
2
Patriots
third round.
were 11th against the pass.
Yeah, defense was like not the problem there. It was just
And 4th against the run.
It will be interesting. But I'll be happy
They
to get
just
that.
they probably just got screwed that their offense kept putting them in terrible positions.
Well, that offense was
And
terrible.
still ended up ranked statistically pretty well.
Right, in spite of
I
all that
guess.
fucking
Yeah.
heartache. I don't know, man. Seems like we're stuck in the fucking same old fucking cycle.
It sounds well, at least from a collapse. It
And
seems consistent.
and
It's
it
the
would
only
seem
thing. It's the only consistency we have.
inconsistency is the only consistency we've had. It would seem
Yes.
like there's going to be a repeat next year and then probably another rebuild.
And somebody should lose. A lot of people should lose their jobs.
Yeah, but you got to do a real fucking house cleaning if you fucking do the rebuild.
Something that. When was the last time we did that?
Did they get rid of the GM when they got rid of Shula?
No.
They kept the GM?
Well, Jimmy was the GM, so they had to, right?
Okay, so that was the last time probably. Because Wonstadt was a remnant of Jimmy. So the Wonstash era was still a remnant of the previous era. After Wonstash, geez, I don't want to fucking think about all this.
Yeah.
Cameron.
Yes, but then did they fire the GM?
No. That's when they started doing. They fired the coach, not the GM. Then they fired the GM and not the coach. And that's been the fucking problem, I think. Since Ross has been here too. We fire one instead of just firing everybody. Because think about it. They got rid of. I'm pretty sure what happened was they fired somebody. They brought in Philbin, then fired the GM and brought in Hickey. And then they fired Philbin and then brought in fucking Tannenbaum, or fired fucking Hickey and then, brought in Tannenbaum. It was just back and forth.
There's always some
Greer goes how back to what regime of coach?
To the last time we won a playoff game.
But the thing is, Greer
in the organization.
But he was a scout.
What?
Though. Like you can't.
He was in the organization. I understand, Chad. He wasn't the GM, but he was in the organization. The last time we won a playoff game, I believe that was his first year in the organization as a scout.
And that's fine. But this whole narrative that,
wow,
he's the reason why we've lost is not true, because he wasn't in any type of power then. Like, if you want to put the last years as him as GM on him, absolutely. I can understand that. But this whole narrative, like, he's the reason why we've lost over the last 20 years is bullshit. It's only when he's been in power to make moves for players. That's what I'm saying. Granted, you can be a scout and have insight on a player and think highly of them, but that's not your job to draft them or sign them or do that. It's your job to provide the information you saw. So I think this whole narrative that he's the reason why we've been losing is bullshit. I think it's been Ross, if anything, because he's been putting the wrong people in power.
Here's his.
He has been the. Oh, okay. Go ahead. I think I was going to say the
pedigree.
same thing.
New England Patriots intern 1994. New England Patriots regional scout 95 to 99.
But you know why? His dad was a GM, I think, for the Patriots at one point in time for Belichick.
Dolphins area scout 2000 to 2002. 2003 to 2007, national scout, assistant director of college scouting. These are all areas involved with the draft. 2007 to 2015, director of college scouting, Miami Dolphins. And 2016 to present, general manager.
Okay.
He's the common link. We need to kill him.
I think it's Ross. I disagree. Because he was there before Ross.
We sucked then too.
All right. But again, he could have been the scout for that, but he's not the one making those decisions at the end of the day. If you want to blame him from 2016 to now, I'm all for that. But anything prior to that, you can't put that on him, man. Like, let's just be real. That's just like saying,
that's true. That's true.
Yeah. Bum, that's just saying, like, the barista that you've seen the last, let's say, 10 years has been there and then somehow worked his way up to store manager. So you're going to tell me the last 10 years I've been on that barista in regards to service?
Fuck, the coffee tasted like shit the whole time you were here, dude.
I mean, okay, not when I was on fucking shift. I can tell you that, But I'm just saying, like, you can't put everything on him at that point. You have to only evaluate him at the position that when he was absolutely able to make the decision. He can give you the report, but that doesn't mean he's making the decision.
I think it's simple with him. It's the Tua draft pick is going to define
Oh no, he's married to him,
him.
as we talked about earlier. He's married to him
Wow.
at this point.
Dave Hyde wrote an article that says what counts is accountability, except for Dolphins GM Chris Greer.
I read that. Yeah.
But let me ask you this: since he's been GM, we talked about it. Hit on Wilkins, hit on X, right? He hit on Mika Fitzpatrick, but because Flo didn't want to work with him, we had to trade him and then drafted X after him. He hit on Javon Holland, we can pretty much say, because Javon Holland easily top 5 safety in the league.
Yeah.
You know, he found Sealer. I mean, he found Van Ginkel. He drafted, like, I mean, as much as
I will say he seems to be better at finding talent in later rounds than he is in the first rounds.
And free agency.
Correct.
I don't know
Kohu was
about free agency.
No, Kohu was a fucking walk-on last year, and he had a great year last
Oh,
year.
you mean free agents, not his free agent signings.
No, yeah.
Not like veteran free agents.
No, bringing people
like
from outside and trading for people.
Well, he traded for Tyreek.
Yeah.
He
And
brought
Chubb.
in David Long Jr., who was probably arguably our best linebacker this year.
That 2020
except in pass coverage, and they kept putting him in pass coverage.
Yeah, that's on Fangio, which I can't. But then again, does Fangio have his guys?
The 2020 draft is the one that's going to fucking.
No, he's married to that draft because of Tua.
And it's not that good.
Austin Jackson.
Who actually hold on.
Yeah,
he turned a corner this year.
Yeah, I'm just giving you the whole draft.
No, for sure. But I just want to give Austin Jackson his credit. He deserved that contract. Yes. He turned the corner this year. Absolutely.
Noah Iginbegongi.
Wasn't the worst, wasn't terrible, but
yeah, come on, dude. You can't sugarcoat that. That was horrific.
Yeah,
terrible pick.
That was terrible.
I don't know about terrible, but he didn't live up to the pick. Okay.
Oh my God!
Dude, he didn't play.
He did play. He had a game-winning interception last year against the Steelers.
That's all he did.
One game in
career.
And then hold on, and then went to Dallas and had a fucking game-returning thing, and we're like, "Yo, where was that for our special team?"
You have just summed up his whole career. Those 2 plays. He's had 2 plays.
Okay, cool, whatever.
He never sniffed the field again for Dallas, and they had injuries too. Robert Hunt, 39th pick.
Pretty good.
Played better this year. That you can't hate on that.
No.
Raekwon Davis,
who looks like better. He didn't play that much in the Fangio defense, but and looks like he's moving on, but wasn't terrible.
Brandon Jones.
He's leaving, but we missed him last year in safety. Just saying.
The rest is crap. Solomon Kidney, Jason Stowbridge, Curtis Weaver. They drafted a fucking long snapper and Malcolm Perry.
No, that's all crap. But anyone that you named before that, you can make arguments for.
It could have been so much better.
I'm not disagreeing, but, could have been worse. We could be Carolina.
You don't want to cry if I show you some of the players we could have had in that draft.
I'm not disagreeing. I don't want to cry, and I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying,
Obviously, Herbert we could have
had. But I still don't feel at that time that we knew what he could have been. Because what did he do in Oregon that made you confident that he was going to be an NFL quarterback?
Well, the Chargers knew it. I didn't.
Okay, but at the same time, he also came, luckily for him, like he only played 1 year under Mario Cristobal because that guy would have ruined his fucking career because Mario Cristobal can't coach shit from what we can see on the UM side. And, you know, Herbert.
Would you rather have Justin Jefferson over Austin Jackson?
Yes.
Because we need O-line help. And if we drafted a receiver that couldn't do anything here with no O-line for him to get him the ball, yeah, I would have. And we still got Tyreek and we got Waddle.
Would you rather have T. Higgins over Noah Ingabagani?
That is not even a question.
Would you rather have Jonathan Taylor over Robert Hunt?
That's hard.
Or Trayvon Diggs?
The only reason why I would take
Or
Hunt
Jalen
over
Hurts?
Hold on. Only reason why I take Hunt over Taylor is as much as we love the running back position, that's the one position that is the most like carousel, bro. That's like in and out. You don't know who's going to be the next running, and like that position, people are getting hurt. That's why they don't pay them anymore. So I'm on the fence on that one. But they already took Tua.
After that, it gets murky. It all's going to boil down to Tua, dude.
Dude, yeah, you say over Jalen Hurts, but we already took Tua at that point. So we're thinking, yo, we got our quarterback. Why draft Jalen Hurts?
So what if you don't take Tua? This is all revisionist history here. You don't take Tua. You don't take Herbert. Who could you have gotten? Let's see.
Maybe Hurts.
Well, you get Hurts later.
But I still don't think he's going to take us above the fucking line with our fucking team.
I guess you could have got Jerry Jeudy, but that's nothing. Whatever. It's going to boil down to Tua, bro.
No,
It is.
Greer's married to Tua. All his eggs are in that basket because I think Greer knows Tua's success is his success.
Yeah.
And that's why he's going to play him.
I'm gonna let the song play us out. All right, guys. Thanks for coming. 90, thanks for coming, dude. It was fun, brother.
Well, thank you guys for having
See you
me.
back on the show.
Yeah.
Good to see you guys.
Good to talk football with, you know.
The team's gone cold, I'm wondering why. McDaniel made that call.